Me. Alright, let's see if we're live or not. And it says we're live. Looks like we're live. Does it sound like we're live?
We're live? Does it sound like we're...
It does indeed. So hello, people of the internet. It is I, Soul Dragon here, back with more FSN Remaster. Last time we played this, which was like a month ago, I think, we finished the Fate route. But, well, we finished it. If I go to gallery here, because this will be the best method, ending list, I missed 2 endings, apparently, so that's one thing. But then there's also all the branching pathways that we did not take, some of which I'm sure lead to bad ends. So what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be going all the way to the, because I saved every single branching route, we're going to go back to the latest one and work our way forwards. I'm pretty sure you can skip scene dialogue, so we might get a little bit confused at times, but we'll find out. So we're going to start from this one, day 15. This is just before the final confrontation, where we decide to give Seba the sheath. If we check the flowcharts... Yeah, so we only picked the give Seba the sheath one. I do not know if there is any others. And if I go to config, advanced settings, where was the skip? Yep, skip previously read scenes, and tint previously read dialogue, and text fast forward the read text only. So yeah, we should be able to do that. I have no idea what M/CN/FT/shadow/T true is, but so we're looking for means to defeat Gilgamesh. Obviously, returning the sheath saber was the best method. So let's see what strengthening saber we come up with. Gonna strengthen it right here where I summon. Not sure I can do that, but it's worth trying. You're gonna perform strengthening on me. Yeah, I know how hard it is to pass magical energy through ruins other than yourself. This is all I've got, the only thing I can really do to try to make you stronger, Saber. That's right. Even if I try making a new weapon with projection, I won't be able to make anything stronger than Excalibur. I'm actually curious. How does this link up to the flowchart? Ah, this will link right back up to here. Interesting. With Gilgamesh's noble phantasm overhauling the secured sword, no point in giving Saber a new weapon. No other option but to make Saber herself stronger. Probably not a great chance of success here, and it might be uncomfortable for you, but I at least want to try. Feel bad for treating you like a thing, talking about strengthening you. Please forgive me. That's unnecessary. Not feel any displeasure from this. If you are doing this for my benefit, I will gladly offer myself to you. Yeah, you already did that. Saber takes my hand and agrees to my plan. I trust you, Master. I will temporarily lower my magical resistance, so please use your Magecraft on me. Didn't know you could control your magic resistance. That's a new bit of lore to know. She entrusts her body to me while she holds my hand. Got it? Bear with me for a bit, Saber. Concentrate and read her body, her blueprint. Have less than 10% chance of success. Cast on my indecisiveness and activate the strength of Magecraft with unprecedented clarity. The Magecraft spell ends. I used almost all my remaining magical energy to strengthen Saber. What do you think? Feel anything? No, the magical energy flowed into you, and I think you've gotten stronger. Can you not see the end result? Cannot tell my speed and destructive power have increased. No, I can't tell. It might be called strengthening, but we won't know unless we actually try it out. With magical energy flowing through, all we have to do is see the end result. I see. Even if you strengthen a wooden sword, it does not simply shout that it has gotten stronger, nor does it look any different. I'm embarrassed to admit that I have not noticed any changes either. Honestly, I don't feel any different. Got it. Guess I wasted both of our time. No, it was by no means a waste. Your Magecraft was functioning properly. Even if I'm not stronger, I feel a warm sensation in my chest now. As long as this warmth remains, I will not be defeated. You have made me stronger mentally. Sadly, it's not a mental amp that you need. Sarah accepts my Magecraft, and she's the one who made me stronger. Her words banish my fear and hesitation. She isn't the only one feeling warmth in her heart. As long as I hold on to this feeling, I won't be afraid to fight. Okay, so now we should be able to... Yep, skip the scene. Yep, so essentially the rest of day 15 was all scene. So essentially, this should not be a new dojo. Yep, so this is not new. Oh, yep. I can just hold down control, and there we go. So restart from the most recent decision point. Yes. Alright, so holding down control is the skip button. Give me just a moment, I gotta respond to this text. And now we're gonna try and look for a weapon. I wonder if this will have any more success. Let's prepare something we didn't have before, a new weapon. Oh, I'm sure Saber would benefit from a weapon other than Excalibur, and the more weapons I have, the better. Shiro, what is it you have in mind? I was thinking of getting more weapons. This place was originally my old man's storehouse. We might be able to find something useful. Yes, Shiro, Emiya, we will... Your old man sure had the stock of mystical weapons. Something useful. Yes, if we find any magecraft objects Kiritsugu used to use, they would certainly benefit you. His mystic code of choice was a gun, so you should be able to use that easily. Mystic code is a tool or armament a mage uses to empower or support their spellcasting. According to Saber, my old man's was a pistol. That's a pretty dangerous thing to use, but I guess it's an effective weapon. Yes, I will check here. You should check the attic. If it's here, there should be a seal that suppresses its magical energy. Rather than detecting its magical energy, just search the entire area with a fine-tooth comb. Now, I could see this one maybe having success if they are specifically looking for Kiritsugu's gun, because, you know, his specific magecraft severs and reconstructs. So, it's very effective, if they could find it. I either can't find a gun or even a note might indicate where it's stored. Guess I'm not surprised. If the old man had left anything like that, I would have found it long ago. Feel defeated. It didn't hurt to try, now we just have to do our best with what we have planned from the start. And yep, it's a failure. So that's a dead end as well. So, nope. Do not seek the advice of the tiger. Do not restart from the most recent decision point, because we already know where that ends up. Alright, so, if we go to gallery now, ending list, no new endings are unlocked. And it'll take too long to scroll to the end, so let's go to the night before the decisive battle. Because, like I said, we're working our way backwards. So, according to the flowchart here, yep, both of those led to the same result. That's kind of funny. So for this one, there was 2 results we already took. Oh, it's because... Okay, never mind. I messed up. Because I was highlighting, I did not see it was already green. So let's reload that. Yeah, so because it was highlighted, I did not see that it was already green. So let's report to Kiritsugu and see what this does. This might be my last time. 10 years ago, I was the lone survivor of the terrible fire, and if I'm going to succeed Kiritsugu, who destroyed the Holy Grail, I should at least report that to him. I'll take on your dream, old man. A young boy said those words so long ago. Back then I didn't even understand the feeling the man left behind, nor did I understand what I wanted to achieve. After 10 years, the thing I kept striving for, the reason I was the only survivor, is about to reveal itself. Thanks for everything. I'm going to go now, Dad. My fear and hesitation fade. We have no chance of winning. But if I'm going to call myself Shiro Emiya, I need to go into this with my head held high. Okay. I'm gonna do the... So... Let's seek the advice. See if this is new. Nope. Okay. So, it's curious. That is just a straight... I'm going to skip all these other possible scenes and just jump straight... Okay, it doesn't skip scenes. It's the same. So that's 2 paths to a dead end. That's interesting. So then the next one is the Rin decision, where Rin gives us the Azoth Blade and makes us make a promise. So we now have to ask her if there is a method to beat Kirei. You have something in mind, Tosaka. I'm going to settle things with Kotomine. Even if I don't have a chance of winning, I can't run away. But if Tosaka has a plan, I'll hear her out no matter what it is. Unfortunately, I don't, but I'll give you a parting gift. It's meant for self-defense, but it's better than nothing. She reaches behind her and pulls out a single dagger. And that does Nothing. Is that seriously? No. Go back to flowchart. So both of these lead to the same result. We get the Azoth Blade no matter what. Weird. And there's no branches off of this, so there's no, like... Odd. I didn't really have a choice here. I think this is a relationship with Saber check. So there is going to be a point we're going to have to make the... all the way back here with that Saber relationship check. So let's go back and load to the prior one. Getting up to the church spiral ladder. What is this choice? Ah, my next different... Alright, this is when Shiro decides to... This is the one I thought was the dead end with going down to the basement, but it was not. It was the right choice. So going home must be the dead end. I turn from the dark stairway that leads underground. As my heart hammers in my chest, I run. I can't stay another second. I need to get out of this building right now. This is a bad place. It's always been like this. This church is not somewhere I should have ever come. I shouldn't have ever come into this building or met the priest. I return to the chapel. The empty house of God is deathly ominous. Keep running, only briefly glancing back. I'm almost at the exit. There's nobody behind me. There's nobody behind me. There's nobody behind me. I leave the church. I run through the square without looking back. What am I afraid of? What am I running from? Can't seem to shake off the sense of unease clinging to me. You make it home? Where have you been all alone? The moment I come home, I get a different sort of scare. Saber's at the entrance, looking absolutely livid. Yeah, I'm home, Saber. I'm home, me. How many times must I tell you not to leave on your own? Okay, you're right. Sorry, I'll be more careful next time. There will not be a next time. I'm furious with you, Shiro. Explain why you went out alone. Your wounds have not completely healed, and we do not know when Gilgamesh will next attack. Just how much do you plan to make me worry about you? Saber glares at me, but I don't know what it is. I went to the church. I thought maybe I could learn Gilgamesh's weakness from the priest there. Ah, the church? But why now? I've talked with him before. He's the overseer, so I thought he might be able to do something about the servant from the last war. But it was futile. I failed. And I don't blame you for getting mad. I have you, Saber, and we should have gone to the church together. I bow my head to apologize again. Well, as long as you understand. Saber's threatening posture eases all at once. It's always been like that. Saber always gets really, really angry at how stupid I can be, but at the same time, she's kind enough to forgive me right away. Or if I'm being egotistical, it's like her resentment at being left home alone vanishes as soon as I get back. Well, if you're contrite for your actions, I suppose I should overlook this matter, and I was perhaps being slightly immature myself. I don't think so. You were waiting for me, right? Honestly, I'm grateful. The moment you yelled at me, all my worries disappeared. You're glad I yelled at you? Yeah, I'm glad I came home to you, Saber. Oh, trying to lay on the riz. What? Yeah, I'm glad to be home. Glad to see Saber's face again. If I'd gone down in that basement, I don't think I'd have ever made it home. I'm sure I made the right choice now. Except we know it's not the right choice. How about we team up with Lancer? What was that, Saber? It's past 2 in the afternoon, and we're having a late lunch when Saber broaches the topic. As I said, we should team up with Lancer. Gilgamesh is entirely outside the Holy Grail War's rules. I'm sure Lancer sees him as an opponent that cannot be ignored, and so he would be willing to cooperate with us if the conditions are right. So the enemy of our enemy is our friend. Yes, if there's some benefit to him, he will surely be willing to work with us, even temporarily. Teaming up with Lancer, huh? That may be our only choice. We're no match for Gilgamesh on our own. But if Saber and Lancer can cooperate, we should be able to come up with at least a couple of schemes. You're right. I don't know if Lancer will cooperate, but it wouldn't hurt to at least talk to him about it. Which would mean our problem is... Yes, the matter of how we get in contact with Lancer. We've not seen Lancer since that night, and we still do not know who his master is. With only 2 masters left, I do not imagine they will continue to be so passive. Yeah, but Lancer not showing himself could mean he's afraid to face you alone. Unlikely. Lancer is a worthy hero. He would be happy to fight me. He certainly would not be afraid. That he has not appeared after all this time must mean he has a reason for his behavior. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. We fold our arms, thinking. Two of you sure are in sync this morning. How long have you been there? The two of us jumped simultaneously. A while now. The two of you are completely focused on each other. It was so silly I just kept quiet and watched. Don't you think that was the best move? You were having a moment, so I figured I shouldn't butt in. Well, Ringe, Hero and I are master and servant, so there's nothing of the sort. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So returning to what you two were talking about, I agree that you should try teaming up with Lancer. If Goldie really is the king of heroes, I don't think you have much of a chance of winning unless you form an alliance. Oh man, I don't know how much she heard, but Tosaka is at least aware of the current situation. Apparently she eavesdropped on our conversation during lunch, and she knows Archer is Gilgamesh and that he possesses a noble phantasm even more powerful than sabers. Well, I'm going back to home for now. I'll grab the weapon for myself, prepare something that will lure Lancer out, and I need to get some medicine for Ilya. Medicine for Ilya? Tosaka's something wrong with Ilya. Not really. She's the same as yesterday. Her breathing's stable and her fever's down. She's just not her usual energetic self. I'm sure she'll wake up if she gets hungry, so make her something tasty when that happens. She places an empty rice bowl on the table. Can't believe Tosaka was even here eating lunch this whole time. Wow, oblivious much. See you. I'll be back by dinner, so behave yourselves until then. When's the other shoe going to drop? Once Tosaka's left, Saber and I don't have much to do together, so I just blankly stare at the clock as it ticks away. That is unproductive as hell. Can't say why, but the living room feels a little tense. Do you want another cup of tea, Saber? We both look up at the same time but we freeze when our eyes meet. What is it, Saber? If there's something on your mind, tell me. No, yes. Please, I'd like another cup of tea. Got it? Hold on a minute. I actually do want to try something with the opposite choice for the Rien route. A nerve-wracking hour passes by. Since we're not doing anything, we might as well train at the dojo or lie down to rest. Neither Saber or I bring up either idea. Even I know this is entirely too awkward. I know, but I just want to keep spending time with Saber, no matter how tense or nervous I am around her. And I've already had 10 cups of tea. I just want to relish the moment and watch her face. And then, when I get up to go to the kitchen, the doorbell rings. A visitor at this hour? It's rare for anyone to visit here. Sakura's the only one who'd ring the doorbell, and she's supposed to stay away until the war ends. Fuji needs to let home recuperating too, and I don't have much of a relationship with the neighbors. Yeah, come with me, Saber. I might have to ask you to deal with whoever it is if it comes to that. Of course, I'll protect you. Who is it gonna be? Are they gonna wait for the door to open, or are they gonna just blast through? Who is it? I call to the visitor through the closed door. I'm from the church. I've come to report the results of the investigation you requested. It's Kotomene. I stopped breathing for a second. It's the very man I went to see this morning. Is something the matter? You don't look well. That's okay. Can I open the door, Saber? I'll just send him away if you don't want him here. That first night, Saber refused to go into the church. I remember that, which is why I ask. I do not mind. I will abide by your decision. Nod at once and open the door. That took longer than expected. Is there some reason you didn't want to see me, Shiro Emiya? No, nothing like that. I was just surprised. I didn't expect you to come all the way here. You want to discuss something? Come on in. I beckoned Kotomene towards the living room. However... No, let's just stand here and talk. I have not discovered much, so it should not be a long conversation. Kotomene draws back like he's trying to leave. Hey, where are you going, Kotomene? As I said, we will stand out here and talk. I cannot do that with your servant behind you, glaring at me with such murderous intent. If she continues that, I may have to rethink my position, for my own sake. I look back at Saber. Kotomene is right. Saber looks so viciously murderous that even I find myself paling. It's because she realizes he's from the last war. What does a master from the previous war want? If I recall correctly, Kiritsugu shot and killed you. You're correct. I abandoned my role and surrendered, hands in the air. He shot me from behind. If not for God's divine protection, I would have died then and there. But what of it? It must feel like only yesterday to you, but it is long in the past for me. A full decade has passed. Must you revisit a battle that has long since concluded? His words do nothing to calm Saber down. Kotomene's right. I want you to forget about the last war for now. Do not under any circumstances let your guard down in this man's presence. Kiritsugu targeted this priest from the very beginning because he was a dangerous enemy who needed to be eliminated immediately. How flattering to hear that coming from the mouth of the one who survived until the very end. That says a great deal about my abilities. How dare you be so impudent. The air grows heavy with tension. Not good. Why are those pictures, like, hanging off the wall like that? I just realized that. Not sure I can hold Saber back. Hold it, Saber. I asked Kotomene to investigate Gilgamesh for me. May know his identity, but we don't know anything beyond that. Right now, the more we know about him, the better. Yes, that may be true, but... I'm happy to tell you or leave. As I said, it's not a great deal of information anyway. But I'm not entirely without feelings here. It's not exactly enjoyable to be received so rudely and met with such hostility by the former servant of a man who shot me through the chest. I'm not so experienced, so I may struggle to maintain the composure expected of a priest. Feel much the same. I will not warm to a former enemy. The two glare at each other. This isn't going anywhere. Stand back. I want to hear what Kotomene has to say. You mustn't. This man is dangerous. If you listen to what he has to say, I shall. Yes, I understand how you feel, but I'm still a master. Even if something were to happen to me, I won't just die right away. You'll be able to reach me if something happens. There's no danger now. Of course not. A mere human could never hope to outmaneuver a servant. Sure, Emiya, your servant appears to be overprotective. I'll try not to push your buttons so much. I'm just gonna hear what you have to say. I'll have Saber stay back. That's good enough, right? Actually, no. I don't feel like talking here. That would be no place for me to run if Saber attacks. If I recall, there's a courtyard here. I should have a few seconds to flee if Saber goes mad. That should be enough time for you to employ a command spell to stop Saber. Fine, but I can say for sure that won't happen. Wait on the veranda. I'll call you if something happens. Yes, if those are Master's orders. No way a human can outmaneuver a servant. Right. This is fine. There's a nice opening and can take me into the entire mansion from here. We stand about 2 meters apart. It might be hard to hear if he whispers, but it's enough of a distance for me to react if something happens. So what'd you find out, Kotomene? Ah, yes. There's something I'd like to confirm with you first. He's of deep, seemingly benevolent smile. Kotomene takes a step closer. I apologize for being absent this morning. Here, you forgot something. I hear a heavy thud. Kotomene throws something onto the grass. Oh! That's the bounded field. The alarm goes off. The bounded field my old man put up, the one meant to sound an alarm when intruders with malicious intent enter the area, is ringing. Lancer is the cause of the commotion. He must have come here with the same goal. I barely hear Kotomene. I'm busy staring at the thing he threw at my feet. It occupies my entire attention because it looks like the corpse of a small child. So Saber is engaged in the intruder. He cannot fight at full power while he's inside. He'll need to figure out another strategy if he's to capture Ilia's veil. It's not a corpse. It's alive. The child looks so miserable I want to avert my eyes, but it's alive. Its face isn't even identifiable. Why? A sharp, heavy object pierces my heart from behind. Mere human could not possibly outmaneuver a servant. It is obvious. To do so, one must use a servant. I don't care about the priest's chilling smile. I don't even care that my heart's been destroyed and I'm spitting up blood. Why would you? Questions are all that occupy my mind. That's bright red. Why do I recognize a corpse that's not even human anymore? Well, we would never find out on this ending. So, I still find it weird that investigating the basement was the right choice. That was just odd. Let's hear what the dojo has to say. Hey there, how are you all? Nobody wants to be scared, but since you check it out a little, you got it sent straight to hell. So it's time for Tiger Dojo, the Q&A segment that confronts you when you realize you're the victim of a sneak attack. I'm guessing the background is supposed to be Saba versus Ku. Right now, Saber and Lancer are fighting. Disciple number 1's been captured, Shiro's dead in the yard, public morality in the mansion is out the window. Kids these days can't follow the rules. Makes me so sad. You there. You died right before the story's climax. Wise man avoids danger. Maybe words to live by, but sometimes avoiding things doesn't bring you any closer to your goals. Go back to the choice and brave the church's darkness. Throw self-preservation to the wind. The story really is at its climax. The long night is about to end. Will Saber's wish be fulfilled? What twisted mind does Shiro hide? Is there a way to defeat the king of heroes? Next about Utopia. We've come so far, so head straight to the ending. Don't hit those brakes now. I've already hit the ending. Okay, so do not reload from there. Like I said, I want to check something. We're going to load back from this decision. Because I wonder if not getting a plan from Rin changes the results with Kotomene. Yep, skip the scene. Do not skip this night before the decisive battle. We have to have the strategy meeting. I'm going to choose the right choices here. We're going to skip. We're going to return the sheath to Saber. We will not skip again. I'm just curious if not having a plan changes anything. It shouldn't let me skip unseen text either, so I don't need to worry too much about this. Oh, is that... Yeah, that's still green. It's just a very weird green shade. It's like a very pale green. I need to see if there's like any way to change that color. Epilepsy warning here because of how fast I'm skipping. So there will be nothing different with Gil and Seba. Trying to see if there's anything. I should probably verify that I cannot skip unseen text. Because if I can skip unseen text, then I might have already skipped over any differences there might be. Also, doing this is killing the bit rate for the stream. That's kind of hilarious. Red text. Oh god, that's epilepsy indeed. Clash. And that scene. Yeah, so there is no... So, even though Rin does not tell us the activation word, we still find out the activation word. Interesting. Even though Rin did not tell us it, we somehow know it. I'm gonna check here. Okay, so we are missing still an ending. And I do believe I know what it is. So we need to go back to this choice, I think. The Verse Gilgamesh choice. We're going to check, though, make sure, via the flowchart. Nope, we've already done all this. So we've already done the Verse Gilgamesh choice, as well as the preceding one, Verse Caster. So, Verse Caster Premonition, we need to go back to Verse Caster Melee. Because we've already done the Premonition one. So we leave Caster to Saber. Feel bad about relying on Saber, have no choice. We have come out together, but I'm just slowing her down. I'm curious. And this leads to the bad end at number 9. Saber should have no trouble getting past those bone things and reaching Caster alone. Saber, can you do it? Yes, please return to Rin. You should be able to hold the enemy off for a few minutes with Rin and Ilia's Veil's help. Got it, we'll be waiting in the living room. I will be back soon. May not be my place to say since I just tried to use my noble phantasm, but this is your home, Shiro. I'll not allow anyone to further damage it. Saber launches herself into the yard, and she's going to get Rule Breaker stolen from us. She chops effortlessly through the army of bones. Okay, I hurry back to the living room. If I stay here, I might end up surrounded by those bone creatures, and Saber might worry. Shiro, what happened? Did something happen to Saber? No, you got it wrong. Caster's familiars. There's just too many of those bone dolls. They'll overwhelm us eventually, so Saber went to defeat Caster, since they're the source to all this. I just slow her down, so I'm staying here to wait with you guys until Saber's done. I see. Yeah, there's way too many of those things. Ilia says we shouldn't worry, but even Saber has her limits, so she decided to take out the source before she gets tired. Looks like it. The Dragon Tooth soldiers are heading back out to the yard. Looks like Caster's getting desperate. Saber has her cornered. But this is it. There's no way Caster can win against Saber. You're right. I don't hear anything outside anymore. I don't sense any enemies anymore. As long as we don't go outside, those bones won't attack us. Ilia's right, the battle should be over soon. Saber won't lose in single combat. True. Not necessarily true, but she shouldn't have any trouble cutting Caster down since she doesn't have to worry about protecting us. Why so glum? You look troubled even though you were saying the fight's just about over. Could say the same, Tosaga. Why does it look like something's bothering you? Yeah, it just seems like things are going too well. Caster knows Saber is way more powerful, so why just launch herself at us like this? She's right. Caster came here willingly. If she knows that there's a master here, she should have already know which servant is here too. So she knows Saber's here, and that Saber's a bad matchup for her. If she knew that and still attacked, that means... I don't hear anything, Ilya. Can you sense Caster's presence? It's gone. The familiars are still around, but the only servant left is Saber. There are still familiars left. Look, Shiro, your arm. I looked down at my left arm. And lose command spells. I don't understand what happened. My command spells, proof of my contract with Saber, are gone. If memory serves, you're supposed to be able... Shiro should still have command spells. It's just the contract is transferred to Medea. You need to essentially hit the master to steal the command spells, I thought. Did you use a command spell? No, I didn't. What's going on? Saber should have defeated Caster easily, so why did my command spells disappear? My command spell disappearing doesn't mean my contract is severed. I shouldn't be panicking. They're there to control servants who may act against their master's orders. Haven't needed to use them for Saber. So even if I lose command spells, Saber and I should be able to get along fine. Saber's back. She'll be here soon. What are those two doing? Saber's just coming back, so why do they seem so worried? The door opens. Saber comes in. Saber's gripping her chest. She seems to be in pain. I rush to her. No, wait, Shiro. I don't hear Tosaka's warning. All I see is that Saber is injured. Are you okay, Saber? Where did you... No. Run, Shiro. Saber, stop. In a single stroke, my body is cut in half from the shoulder to the waist. So quick is the slash that for a moment I don't even feel pain. My mysterious healing abilities don't seem to work against the attack from Saber's sword. The world starts to go dark as I die. More than my fear of death, I find myself wondering why Saber attacked me. So, yep, that's the dead end we've already seen before. Nope, no advice is needed. We'll restart for the most recent decision point. So, that is that one. Per the flow chart, we now need to go back to Day 12 Afternoon Magecraft Lesson. Provisional license. So so none of these seem to have any impact on Saber. So I think these are just extra flavor, maybe, for character development. I'll just sit here quietly. Tosaka's on edge. I can only imagine the punch that might head right for my face if I do something stupid to interrupt her now. I also feel like skipping through... Yeah. So, if it's asking me to skip scenes... I'm gonna see here. Okay. So, when it comes to a choice that would result in... So, if I go from here, it should all be the same end results. The only thing that is different is this, and I'm pretty sure that is a Saber affection check. So, this is essentially the end of that. We need to go back to the Magecraft lecture. And... load. And then question 1. I think this is just Shiro being a smartass. Now that I think about it, there's one thing I don't understand. Why wasn't Tosaka just crushed during our battle with Berserker? What sort of trickery did she use? Hey Tosaka, can you ask about something that happened yesterday? What is it? Make it quick, I'm busy. Okay, so Berserker grabbed you. I'm just wondering how you survived. You don't look like it, but do you work your abs or something? If ribbed abs were all I needed to survive Berserker's grip, my stomach would be harder than steel. Sorry, that was the wrong way to ask. I apologize, so please stop grinning at me like that. And stop provoking me. As to how I survived, I placed a jewel in my stomach before the fight. I snuck it into my clothes to create a protective barrier around me. Got it? See, so you expect a Berserker to grab you from the get-go. Makes sense then, planning to protect yourself. That means your jewels... I'm all tapped out. I used 1 for Saber, 3 to distract Berserker, 5 to blow his face off, and 1 to protect myself. 10 years I spent saving those up, and they went in an instant. Even after using most of them, I still couldn't defeat Berserker. In spite of her dejected side, Tosaka doesn't seem to be regretting what happened. What's done is done. She knows very well not to dwell on what she lost, but to focus on what she gained in exchange. I see. Sorry about that, Tosaka. Thanks, but I'm going to learn things from this and make gems that'll let me defeat enemies like that all on my own. She's blunt as ever about that. I'm also sure she'll manage it. And then I realize, she's the reason we won against Berserker. Debatable. Okay. So, yeah, so that's just the same thing. Back to flowchart. So now we go back to before noon, sword training / Saber being weird. So this might be a little bit of tedium. This one, this one a Saber affection check? Maybe. We'll have to see if any of these lead to a Saber affection minus. Let's have lunch. Good idea, it's a little early, but I can start preparing. Is it early? It's almost noon, and by the time you've completed preparations, it'll be lunchtime. Well, I actually made us box lunches today. Everything's done and packed, so we just need to bring the bento in from the living room, and we can eat now. Wonderful. Then I think I can manage to hold out. She breathed a sigh of relief. What do you mean, hold out? Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm simply talking to myself. Let's eat. You've been pretty weird today. You're even sparring weird. If you're not feeling well, you need to tell me. If you're not feeling well, you shouldn't eat the bento. I'll make you something a little easier to digest. Oops, wrong button. No, that's absolutely not the case. If you start now, it will take time and we must eat now. So let us eat now, Shiro. ... What's gotten into her? She doesn't look ill and doesn't look like I'll need to make her anything special. Got it. I'll bring over the bento and some tea, so you two just wait here. We don't have to have bento for lunch, so let's take the chance to eat here in the dojo. Yes, thank you, Shiro. She waves enthusiastically, sending me off. She's flustered, she's mad. Seriously, what's going on with her today? This is Shiro Emiya being dum-dum. Okay, so I'm going to confirm this now. Is there any different text? No. So it is literally just, if I go to flowchart, it's just different scenes of Shiro being oblivious to Saber's affections. It seems this might not have any impact on the overall story. It's mainly the nodes that offer choices that have the impact that actually have an impact later on, as evidenced by what I'm presuming is a Saber affection check. We're gonna fast today. We're going to fast today. Oh, they say that when an army runs out of provisions, they tend to find themselves backed into a corner. With no time to think, I find myself just blurting that out. Shiro, what does that mean? Was it confusing? What I'm trying to say is that we're not going to have lunch today. We had a hearty breakfast of hamburg steak this morning, so I thought we could skip lunch. Do I need to do a check there? I do. So the hamburg steak one is going to be a thing. I'm not sure what drove me to say that, but honestly, I'm not hungry right now anyway. I'm taking the time to spar with Saber, so I want to keep training. Let's keep training. Come on, pick up your shinai, Saber. I point the tip of my shinai at Saber. Please wait, Shiro, this conversation is going nowhere. There's no sense saying we should not eat lunch just because we had a large breakfast. What are you doing, Saber? Give the shinai back. There's not much time. As your servant, I demand my master start preparing our meal right this instant. Hold on a minute. She can be a little weird, but today she's going overboard. What do you mean, there's not much time? Do you have plans? I do not, which is why I'm saying we should have lunch. I just said we're skipping lunch. Which is ridiculous. Do you still not understand? Even after making me repeatedly say so? I will say it this one last time, Shiro. Please make lunch right now. Huh? She protests so intensely I think she might jump right at me right now. I just dropped something. There it is. Just when I was about to agree, unused to seeing her like this, I am... Oh, I hear her stomach growling. Saber's stomach growls, giving the usual sign of her hunger. Was that Saber? You really that hungry? No, I'm not especially hungry, but it appears my body requires nutrients. I guess that happens when you move around a bunch, but Saber, how disgraceful. You may be a mere servant, but you forgot your manners entirely. Shiro might end up hating you. That is untrue. I'm a servant, so the only way I could disappoint Shiro is by being defeated. I'm not going to be disappointed because you lost, but that doesn't mean there aren't other things that you do that might seem odd, Saber. That is all because my stomach growling is because I'm hungry is only proof that my body's functioning properly. If that annoys you, then blame Shiro for failing to feed me. Saber glares at Ilya, who then glares at me. According to Saber, I'm the problem here. Also, the stomach growling is a result of gastrointestinal response called hunger pangs. The stomach is constantly expanding and contracting, and this movement becomes more intense when the stomach is empty. The contraction of the stomach compresses the air inside, which makes it sound like we're familiar with. On the other hand, the stomach is also affected by the autonomic nerves as well. It is constantly moving, which means the stomach doesn't only rumble when it's empty. The stomach's movements, the cause of rumbling so loudly is, I'm hungry, my stomach's about to rumble, people will know I'm hungry if they hear it, so I need to hold it in. Such thoughts make the person tense up, which causes their stomach to contract even more. In other words, I get it. You're just mad because you were hungry. That's you're all moody. Seriously, I can't believe you're still hungry after a big meal this morning, you glutton, you. What? Now that you mentioned it, I didn't notice because she was all quiet, but she ate twice as much as Rin. I didn't know Saber was a glutton. That is not true. Not a glutton. Rin is just a light eater. Shiro, surely you understand. Guess you're right. I've noticed she always eats until the very end. I think if she's really worked up at it, she could eat just as much as Fujini. That's absolutely not true. What have you been watching all this time, Shiro? I'm just being honest. Besides, your stomach always rumbles around this time. Glutton or not, I think you just get hungry fast. I knew it. Saber, you're so immodest. Ilya leaps up joyfully, excited to see Saber dressed down. Saber, on the other hand, had been completely distraught earlier. Is back to her usual self like nothing happened. Aren't you mad? I'm not angry. As Ilya's Veil mentioned, I've been consuming a great deal of food. I may have been pushing myself a bit in order to keep my stamina. That is, the magical energy reserves high to reduce the burden on Shiro. Oh, right. She can only replenish magical energy on her own. She sleeps to reduce her consumption of magical energy. She probably wanted to stockpile as much energy by eating food. Sorry, I wasn't being considerate. Even though we formed a connection, it doesn't give you everything you need. She required 10 times more magical energy than I can give. Maybe more. Servants consume massive amounts of magical energy just to keep existing. The amount of magical energy Saber can generate in a day doesn't cover all of the needs she needs to exist. It's alright, as long as you understand, but more importantly, Shiro. Yeah, I know. I actually made lunch already. We're having bento today, so we can eat them, right? No, we should take this time to train a bit more. Oh. She gives me back my Shanai and takes a ready position to start a match. I thought we were going to eat. That may not be necessary. You mentioned you'd rather do this, so... Oh. A chill runs down my spine. I realize I've made a terrible mistake. Wait, please, let's calm down. You're really mad, aren't you? I realize how timid I sound. Of course not. Is there something in my behavior suggests otherwise to you? You're absolutely different. You even changed outfits. Her armor. Is she wielding a Shanai while fully armored? She is. We shall continue with light training as usual. Are you serious? Don't you think this is a little immature of you? She isn't listening. I'm hit with the force of a lightning strike. Freed from her position as an educator, Saber truly bears her claws. Okay. Wait. No, hello there. This is Tiger Dojo, the spiritual world, who lifts those of my misunderstandings up to heaven. As the assistant angel of the afterlife #1. Know this, you must live every second of your life cautiously, or your wounds will last a lifetime. If you make fun of someone with no sense of humor, you should brace for death. Looks like it, but sure looks so cute when Saber's one strike sent his soul fleeing his body. This kid has a twisted idea of what's cute. Actually, the corpse is remarkably good shape, isn't it? Rare for him to be in such good shape. You're right, it's somewhat anticlimactic. Wanna mess with it? Let's do it. Okay, time to begin our alterations. First, prevent the body from being revived by mistake. We're gonna turn both hands into Gatling guns. Sir, yes, sir. Okay, this is a scene. This is a scene. Devil tail on Ilya. Devil horns on Taiga. Okay, and we're done. Hey, modification surgery. Underwent surgery in the Tiger Dojo. What do you think? How's it feel to get your whole body modified? We need to at least respect your wishes and not operate on your brain, which would have been the final modification. We stopped. Now you must choose between joining the Tiger's Angels or being brainwashed and made to a machine. Your choice. This is bad, Supreme Ruler. The experiment is using his modified powers to escape bonds. He's going berserk. He'll destroy our base. We may have created our own greatest enemy. What have we done? We should have started with his brain. I think people normally start with the brain. What the hell is this? Oh, that's great. Huh? I just had the craziest dream. Could that have been the afterlife? Have you come to, Shiro? I'm ashamed that, after all this practice, you can't even dodge a single blow from me. So please dodge this next one. I'm using Kendo techniques, so you should be able to endure this, so long as you properly brace yourself. No, you still want to keep going? Of course, we still have 10 minutes until noon. Let's keep going until we reach our limit, as usual. Saber Shinai strikes furiously with a loud cracking sound. I pass out once again. I should be more careful. She's the sort to really devote herself to taking revenge if you make her angry. Seems like it. So I'm gonna check. Flowchart. That is not a negative impact. Okay, so then it is breakfast, Hamburg steak war. Probably not much of a scene for this one, but that was still... It's amusing that we got an achievement for that. Take Ilya to the church. I didn't realize this was... I don't remember this being the choice. The church should shelter her. That's the safest option if we're focusing on Ilya's needs. Then it's settled. This hardly needs discussing. The choice is obvious. We can't keep Ilya's veil here. Ilya looks up at me anxiously. No, you're not going to do that, right, Shiro? You're not going to abandon me, are you? I press a hand over my chest, feeling it tighten up. I think you should go to the church, Ilya. It's much safer there than here. I make eye contact with her to tell her this. Ilya gasps, then freezes entirely. Given that Shiro saved you, I will not pursue you any further. Your life has been spared. You should value. No, stupid Shiro, you dummy. I don't want to go to the church. I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't want to be alone. I want to stay here with you, Shiro. Ilya cries like a small child. In her defense, she is not a small child. She's a spoiled person. I should have known that, of course, but I forgot at the crucial moment. I know. If I really am concerned for Ilya, I can't entrust her to someone else. What are you saying? You have a big castle. Land like this is nothing to the Yinesburns. It's like the size of a cat's forehead. How rude. That's not true. This place is so small, it's like a mouse's toenail. So this might be too small for you, Rin, but I can manage to live with Shiro just fine. Who does Ilya want to offend here? Don't you agree, Shiro? I can stay here, right? She looks at me like I'm some kind of lifeline. And then I remember something I heard a long time ago. My old man always said you should protect girls. I take back what I said earlier. Sorry, Ilya. I was the one who brought you here. Until the Holy Grail War ends, until all the remaining masters are taken care of, we're going to give you shelter here. What? Shiro? I knew you were sweet as candy, Shiro. Ilya, you're choking me. Don't touch my master, Ilya's veil. What do sweets have to do with any of this? She means he's too soft on her. Too sweet and soft. Why are you all getting in my way? Have you got some kind of problem with me? Of course I do. I'll never forget what you did to Shiro, and you, Shiro. You still don't understand that nothing good will come of sheltering Ilya's veil. You got it wrong, Saber. Ilya doesn't have a servant anymore, so she's not dangerous. She's no longer a master, so she has no reason to fight us anymore. Besides, how would you feel if she got attacked after we abandoned her? Ilya's life would be in danger, and the other masters might gain power from her. Yes, that might be true, but... Saber hesitates. No matter what she says, Saber understands that another master might attack Ilya if we leave her alone. Okay. Ah, interesting. So, leads back to that. So then we go back to Verse Berserker reviving a myth. Our choice this time was providing backup with our bow. What will that do? I know it's all futile. This little bow I made can't even scratch Berserker. He won't bother to dodge the arrow. It can't possibly hurt him. Probably all I do is get in the way and make things even harder for Saber. I'm curious. Yeah, this will just loop back around to that. Can't do anything. She's about to collapse right in front of me, and I can't do anything. If running at Berserker and punching him would save Saber, I've done it already. There would be no point. No matter what I do, I can only get in Saber's way. Okay. And that is not a relationship check. This, though, the interlude Archer and Berserker Day 11, Dawn at the Ruins. That is a relationship check. So let's say we're worried about Tosaka this time. Hope I'm wrong, but Tosaka won't be stingy about her gems, will she? Wait a sec, just want to be sure. We're not going to hold back, right? I know jewels are expensive, but your own life's worth a lot more. Easy for you to say. You don't know what the state of my finances is. You'd probably lose your mind if you found out how much even one of these is worth. I'd never lose my mind over money. If you're so adamant, I'll help with it. I'll just have to pay the half of value of the jewels you use, right? Really? The man doesn't go back on his word. Nope. I have some savings, and I can earn money if I don't have enough. I'm having you use weapons you've accumulated over a lot of time, so I should help you out, too. Okay, might be making this offer out of pride. I guess I want Tosaka to see me in a positive light no matter what. What's that? That's a really weird look. I'm happy about it, and now I'm gonna have something to look forward to. By the way, Emiya, aren't you curious how much one of these gems is worth? I suppose it's about 100,000 yen or something. No, that would get you a cheap throwaway gem at best. 200,000 yen? Not going up by much, still wrong. How about 250,000? You know what? You usually go... You know what? What do you usually do when you're guessing prices is you add zeros. Are you not going up past 100,000? Kinda didn't want to say it, but 300,000? Again, I ask, why do you refuse to go up another digit? Could it be 1,000,000? The ground is falling away at my feet. Close, add another zero. And I'm about to fall right into the bowels of hell itself. That's astronomical. I've never heard of a number so devastating before. If I were to turn that into a number of points of damage, I could beat any video game boss in a heartbeat. 10 million? Maybe. What's wrong? You look pale, Emiya. I'm fine. I can calculate fine. Oh, I can calculate alright, and it's hurting more than my math ever should. Oh, really? Then I'll ask you one more time. I can use my gems, right? I won't hold back. It'll be spectacular. Are you good with that? I find back that desire to tell Tosaka to use them sparingly. I'm gonna be in your debt. I try to sound as brave as I can. Of course. I won't charge you interest, so you can spend all your life paying me back. She clearly isn't joking. Even if I spent my whole life doing it, I'd never be able to pay that back. I'd rather not think about that, but is Tosaka going to be in charge of my life from now on? Okay, so I'm checking. That is benefit with Rin, which does not really have any impact. So now we need to skip scenes all the way up to the interlude Discord. So, get a bit of flashing lights here. We're going to choose the right choices to make sure we get to that point, though. Man, we're not even an hour in, and we're still got a fair bit to go. I can even tell there's flashing lights. This is so getting an epilepsy warning, this episode. So back up with Bo. There we go. Now we can skip scene. Skip 12 labor scene. We need to say... I don't remember. I think bottom is the right choice. Yes. Do not save. Skip the Hamburg steak scene. We will shelter Ilya. Skip the Saber pouting. Skip Saber being weird. Why is she on the dot today? Skip the blushing scene. Skip lunchtime. Magecraft. Projection and detail. Skip. 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 I did not want to save. No, no saving. Skip to... Skip-a-dee-doo-da. Skip-a-dee-day. Skip, skip, skip all the day. Skip-a-dee-doo-da, skip-a-dee-day. We're just skipping our way through to the penultimate day. Yeah, I remember my choices. To the church 10 years ago, only star. Morning date, no save. Boy meets girl, skip. Date to present, skip. Farewell, skip. 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 We stand up. Just keep skipping. Okay, we're getting close to the choice. So we go down to the basement. Do not skip the scene, because I'm pretty sure this is the scene where the... Yeah, this is where the relationship check comes. So let's see. I'm pretty sure the relationship check is if Saber will kill Shiro. Okay, so we need to get at least 2 failed relationship checks with Saber. So we need to go back to... So we need to make sure that when the time comes, we need to worry about Tosaka. Make note of that. Back to the Einsburn Castle, rejection and escape. Okay, so this is when Shiro breaks out. No state to fight, sit in the chair, and I'm tied up. There's no time for me to hesitate, can't possibly fight, need to be careful until I've recovered. There. Put my wrists together to look like I'm tied up. The door opens. Could it be Ilya, someone from the castle? You just remain sitting here looking. Are you alright, Shiro? My eyes widen. For a moment, I genuinely think I'm hallucinating out of sheer desperate hope. See, you're tied up? I'll untie you, so please stay. Ropes are loose. I bring my hands out front. Did not understand. Were you not held captive here? I kind of got free, and then I heard someone coming as I was trying to get away, so I pretended to still be tied up. See, you're trying to trick your enemy into lowering their guard and give your best possible chance of escape. She looks impressed. I'm not going to tell her that I hadn't managed to think any further than that. By the way, you're Saber, right? You're not some illusion. You're the real Saber? Stand up and touch Saber. Sure, please stop if you touch me like that. Yep, you're real, but how did you get here? Why, I should hardly need to tell you. Servants need not explain their need to protect their masters. It's my duty to come to your aid knowing you've been captured. Well, how do you know I got captured? Actually, let me check this. This is a booster in. Okay. You shouldn't be coming anywhere near here right now. Okay. So now it's a bunch of skips again. So we are at 2. So worry about Tosaka is another missing Saber boost. Oh wait, shoot. I messed up. No. Restart from the most recent decision point. There we go. I messed up that one. So don't use it. So we should be at -2 from the initial max amount of Saber. I do wonder if this changes the final scene, maybe? It's worth checking. Skip. I'm gonna see if this changes the final scene in any way. No, I do not want to save. I meant to skip that. Dang it. It's sad that there's no stats thing to show you what your current relationship is with everybody in any given scene. Yeah, there's no stats. Saber and Hyde both head out. Skip. Believe in Tosaka. No Saber. No, dang it! I hate that it didn't register my click. I pressed the up button and it did not register. So, curious note here, though. The being betrayed by Saber scene still happens after the full date scene. It's interesting that she will still go on a date with us, even if she does not like us in that manner. Okay, yeah. So we need more than 2. We need more than 2 minuses to Saber's affection. I'm just doing all this to see if there's any changes towards the end. I kind of am doubtful of that. Yep, no changes at the end. So we need to go back to this one to start. Oh, I need to go forward 1. My bad. So what about the bed? That was the third. That was the third choice that we did not choose. Sorry. Got something caught in my throat. No time for me to hesitate. Can't possibly fight like this, so I need to be careful until I've recovered. Maybe I can hide in the bed for now. I hop into the bed and tug the sheets over me to hide. The door grinds open. Could it be Ilya or someone from the castle? Whoever it is will probably be shocked the prisoner has vanished, and they'll only pay attention to the empty chair. This bed is so fluffy and perfect. Whoever came to check on me should be struck speechless by my disappearing act, and they'll... Sure, what are you doing? This is no time to play around. The exasperated voice is addressing me directly. I poke my head out from the fluffy bed. I'm asking what you're doing here. Please don't tell me that was an attempt to hide. Well, crawl out from the bed. I was hiding, yes. I look at her guiltily. That was a poor... So yeah, that has no hiding spot. Had I been your enemy, I'd have cut you down without hesitation. Like how we're not having any counter-argument. I think I've really embarrassed myself here. Why are you here, Saber? So let's preemptively look. Where is our next separation point we need to go to? So, Sword of Promised Victory. And that is another Saber affection choice. Why, I should hardly need to tell you. Servants need not explain their need to protect their masters. It's my duty to come to your aid knowing you've been captured. Also, I'm testing now. You cannot skip over unseen text. How did you know I got captured? Actually, why are you here, Saber? This is Ilya's hideout. You shouldn't be coming anywhere near here right now. Okay, do not skip because... So we now know. Back to Sword of Promised Victory. And this is an affection check for Saber. I'm gonna do Dive and Bed as the second one. So we will follow Shinji now. We know that doing this, we might see Shinji get killed. And we're not, you know, comforting Saber, who just exhausted herself. Shinji comes first. So Saber defeated Ryder. My job is to catch Shinji and make him quit being a master. The sharp sound of footsteps echo in the darkness. Shinji is fleeing down the dark staircase. What the hell is with that woman? How can something so freaking crazy happen? Ryder's noble phantasm is supposed to be the strongest, so how the hell did she lose? Why does a stupid Saber have a noble phantasm like that? It's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair! He rolls down the stairs, crashes into a wall, and then scampers on the ground. He's heading down, down, down. The image of light-severing Ryder is ingrained into his mind, never leaving. It's like he says, that noble phantasm was unbelievable. That sacred sword may look godly to allies, but to opponents must be truly horribly demonic. I'm also checking. Yep, so there is nothing there. There's a picture of Berserker, so we will see that. So another choice is back in versus Ryder 1. That's the only other Saber... That's another Saber affection choice. That is a major Splinters point, though. We're gonna have a lot of choices there. Maybe. I might have to go back further to get that. Shinji runs even in pitch darkness. Light will find him if he stops. If he turns around, it'll burn him to nothing, just like Ryder. He can't afford to stop. More than that, the loss of his servant, more than the loss of his command spells, and the end of his time as master, Shinji fears for his life. Damn, damn, damn. What was that crap about her noble phantasm being invincible? That woman was all talk. How dare she trick me? She got into this mess because she was just too damn arrogant, that idiot. She followed his orders, just as he gave them to her. He told her not to make it quick. Ryder had suggested destroying their enemy with a single blow from her noble phantasm, but Shinji ignored her and instead backed Saber into a corner. He's fallen again. He should be near to escaping the darkness, but he's run into a wall of some kind. Who the hell put a wall here? He plunges it to vent his anger. Something sounds off. He looks again at what he thought was a wall, then looks at his own arm, which is bent backward in a near circle. He's too afraid even to scream. You're not playing fair, you little Makiri maggot. There's no escaping for losers like you. Playful laughter fills the stairwell. A silver-haired girl emerges from the oppressive darkness. He recognizes her, and in the brief instant Shinji realizes who he's seeing, and he dies. I run through the darkened stairwell. Maybe too dark to see, but I can still pursue Shinji. There's nothing else to make noise at this point. The sound of Shinji's footsteps echo up the stairwell, so he's not hard to follow. I don't hear his footsteps anymore. The change happened suddenly. He was close, I could hear it, and he's still got ways to go before he reaches the elevators. Can't think of any reason for Shinji to stop here. Move quietly, cautiously, and immediately find the reason his footsteps stopped. I see where Shinji stopped running. The corridor, which had been empty when I passed by, is now splattered with blood. Feel my senses buzz and numb. Before my mind even attempts to understand what happened here, my body reacts instinctively. I shouldn't be here. Saber told me to listen to my senses, and they're screaming at me to head back to the roof if I want to live. Sorry I'm late. You alright, Saber? If I down my nose, I'll make my way to Saber. Saber's in bad shape. Beads of sweat trickle down her brow, and her breath is shallow, labored. She looks like she's got a fever. Anyway, hey Saber, what's going on? Call it to Saber nervously. She doesn't respond. She's out cold. I touch her forehead. It's hot. I jerk my hand away. It's unnaturally hot. She's got to be running a fever of over 40 degrees. Pull yourself together. Call out to her, but her only response is a shallow, anguished breathing. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what to do, but I can't just stand around. I'm gonna take you home. I'll deal with any complaints later. Lift Saber up. She's so light. I knew that, of course, but now she seems even lighter. More than that, she's warm. That means she's still alive. She's still the person I've known all this time. I'm pissed with myself for even hesitating. What's it matter if she's a hero? No matter who Saber is, she's here, and she's still warm. How much of an idiot was I for putting this wall up before us? We're going home quickly. Just hold still, Saber. Start running, Saber in arm. There's no sense of triumph from this victory. All I feel is Saber in my arms, barely breathing. And skip points. Now we skip to the loo all the way to the end. Can't agree. Hide in the bed. Because that is a for sure. No bonuses to Saber affection. Worry about toe socket. So we are now officially at -3 from Saber's affection in the end game. I keep forgetting this one. It's don't use it. So we are -3 Saber affection. Will the minus... Dang it! How do I always miss this? Epilepsy warning. Yay! Not. Come on. Give me the choice. This is the Shelter Ilia or not. There we go. Skip. Skip. I need to be very definitive with my button presses. Very definitive. Make sure I'm on the yes to skip the scene. Do not save the game, because there's no point. Man. So, I do think I can confirm here that every scene is independent in its own. So there's not going to ever be any new dialogue in a scene that I've already seen. I think I can confirm that pretty firmly at this point. So there is no reason to watch all these scenes again. And I'm pretty sure it will stop me from skipping a scene if I've not already seen the scene. So it's essentially just new scenes that we're looking for. We're on the scene hunt. So even with I've already established Saber's going to still go on a date with Shiro even if she is at -3 affection. Okay, so we're approaching that point. We go down to the basement. Church basement, quiet tears. Skip the interlude Discord. Unyielding error. Okay. Yep, we bypassed it. So we need to go even further back. Go to this one because I don't remember. We're at about the halfway point of that. Oh, looks like I'm right. And this is an affection choice too, so... Or it's a death choice. So if we don't summon Saber to save... I need Saber to come save me. Okay. So we need Saber to come and save us. Call for help. Hanging between my earth and sky, my thoughts swirl. Time seems slow. I call upon my command spell. 1 second before impact. Logically, there's no chance of me surviving this, but I can still hope Saber can defy that reality. Okay, yeah. Please come to me, Saber. Muster up all my strength and call for my blade. When my command spell strokes disappear, at that very moment, the space around me begins to waver. Save me, Saber. I'm just making note of all the choices I need to make. This is magic. Saber clad in silver armor bursts through the ripples in space and time to appear before me. The girl in her silver armor rushes toward me. She suddenly appears in the schoolyard, and before she can assess the situation, recognizes me falling at full speed. She catches me before I slam onto the ground. Momentum does not work like that. Thanks, Saber, you saved me. I'm still bloody, but I managed to stand up on the ground. I may have avoided slamming into the ground, but my body that's been slashed numerous times has already passed its limit. There was no time staying down. Forcing my numb limbs to move, I push to my feet, sure I'm all right. There's no time to explain. You understand what's happening, right? Please wait, Shiro. I understand, but first your body must. Take care of Ryder. Only you can beat her. I cannot. Trading you is my first priority. You will not survive these wounds. Something else that needs doing first. First, I need to check where the other split point is. Day 9, afternoon, Blood for Andromeda versus Ryder. And it does not look like it's an infection. We need to beat Shinji and Ryder as quickly as possible. Nothing more important. If I do that, Saber's focused only on me. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy about that. No time to argue. Doesn't want to listen, I'll use my second command spell. She must have understood my resolve. She reluctantly accepts my decision. Understood, master your orders. Defeat Ryder, I'll handle Shinji. She doesn't hesitate. She nods and without another word heads toward the school building like whirlwind. Alright. And now we start skipping again. Lots and lots of skipping. I mean, when you're hunting scenes, that's kind of... When you're hunting scenes, that's to be expected. Follow Saber. Follow Shinji. Again, firmly press the button. Do not agree. Hide in bed. Which I kind of wonder, given what we know about Ilya, how would she have reacted to finding Shiro in her bed? One does wonder. She is 18 after all, so, I mean. I'm still not sure why that's a choice when it does not really have any, consequences. At least not so far as I can tell. I mean, it is just a choice, so I guess it's just how do we feel like Shiro would act. Production in detail. Bum bum, boom bum bum, boom, no, boom 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 boom. Saber and I both head out. Boom. Believe in Tosaka. Boom boom boom. No Saber. Boom 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 boom. Nope! I pressed the button firmly. Firmly press it! Do I need to jam my finger until the button is firmly pressed? Do I need to break my finger pressing this button to make sure I skip these scenes? I'm not going to press spacebar until I'm certain I am on yes to skip the scene. Also, I will say, just even having my eyes closed for a lot of these flashing lights is giving me a headache because of how fast you can skip. Go down to the basement. So now we're going to see if -4 is enough to result in death. It is. -4 affection is the key to get Saber to murder us. No one can blame her for this. She blankly looks down at the thing at her feet. Her fingers have no sensation. She's not sure what she's touching. But there is one reality she recognizes. The boy who was her master ended his own life while trying to protect her. She only thought of it. For just a brief moment, she sought the Holy Grail. But that desire faded almost instantly, and she prioritized the boy's life above all else. That instant was just enough time for evil to sink in. Just thinking about it was enough. Her heart, long fatigued and worn out, was defeated in a moment of weakness that lasted no longer than the blink of an eye. This cannot be true. Shiro. She reaches toward her master. He isn't breathing. The young girl looks so much less noble, holding the boy's corpse. You did well, Saber. Your lamentation is surely worthy of the Grail. The voice echoes in the darkness. As if responding to the call of Nirvana, she accepts the Holy Grail in a daze. Ooh. I do wonder what the aftermath of that would end up being. I do wonder. Let's see what the dojo says this time. Given that it is a long way back. Hiya! This is Tiger Dojo, a place where wandering sheep like you, that asks wandering sheep like yourselves to reflect on their actions. This is the 13th episode of the dojo segment. By now, many of you may have noticed that this segment is meaningless. How do you feel about that, disciple number 1? Ma'am, yes ma'am. I shall answer honestly. It is meaningless. All the deaths are sudden. Players just need to go back to the previous choice. Honesty hurts so much. Lies like that are just so misleading. This dojo isn't that straightforward, you know? Just watch, as proof. Oh crap, don't tell me this is like those typical dating sims, where there's a bad route completely unrelated to any of the choices you made in the past, and that you need to start from the very beginning, even if you're just 1 point away? That's right, it's a bad route based on the heart-pounding affection system everyone hates. Yay, we can finally give players proper advice, Taiga! Let's start with some practice swings. Disciple number 1, what was the cause of the bad end this time? Ma'am, yes ma'am. Saber's affection didn't reach a certain level and Saber abandoned Shiro. We have 3 pieces of advice. First, no matter which choice you make after day 12, Saber's affection points won't increase. So after 12, Saber will not gain any more affection. If you're going to redo things, do it from before then. Oh, what the heck? They should have made the bad ends on day 12. Did the developers mess up? I'm curious. Oh, that's an interesting symbol. Heartbreak symbol. So, day 12. Day 12 is day 12 is post... Okay, yeah, so there's no affection choices for Saber at that point anyway, so... Second, this might be obvious, but always put Saber first in your choices. If you treat Tosaka just as well, you're coming straight to this end. Not always. It took -4 Saber points in order to get this. So Rin really was just a third wheel. You know, it just means you have to complete Saber route first if you want to get close with Rin. Third, you should have hit the proper affection score if you were playing normally. If you're going to restart, it's best to restart from around day 7. At the shortest, you should be able to fulfill the requirements by day 8. But if you go out during lunch on the 8th day, you'll get to see me. Saber's affection will go up by 1 if you stay at home, but I guess you won't need to pay. Won't need that point if you play properly. That's all. That felt really good. I'm finally fulfilled my reason for being. We can now stand proud. Oh, but Taiga, you're saying most people pass Saber's affection score check, right? Yeah, I know Shiro isn't the type to ignore Saber. You wouldn't normally end up here. Taiga, I hesitate to say this, but if it's that rare, wouldn't that mean not many people would come to this dojo? It'll be okay, I think. We have the skip function and tiger stamps for this very purpose. I'm sure players will be desperate to play this game in all kinds of crazy ways just to get to this dojo. The devs are calling us out. Yeah, and by that point, everyone will hate this bad end with its weird conditions. Which means that your dojo, which was here to make everyone happy, actually causes suffering for completionist players. Not really. It was a little annoying, but it was still amusing. I got to see some amusing scenes. Identity crisis! Not the you dummy. Ending with an explosion is so lame. So the most recent decision point literally will not matter. Because there is no survival there. So we need to go back to... all the way back to day 9. Blood for Andromeda versus Rider 1. At this point, it's going to be quicker to go down to the bottom. It is starting to, actually, yes. So for this one, it was the choice to avoid the shadows that Sakura, spoilers, sends out. Can't prevent the shadows on my own. Can't block them. I can at least manage to avoid them. Not sure I can dodge them and attack Shinji. 3 sharp blades approach. I stop in my tracks and concentrate on evading, keeping an eye on Shinji. Take a step to the left to dodge the blade that rushes toward my stomach. Twist my upper body to avoid the second blade, coming towards my chest. From the left after I avoid the first blade, then I rushed forward to pass the third blade, flying at my unprotected forehead. Not a problem, I can see where they're going. Compared to Saber's attacks, this is like a game of dodgeball. You conceited fool. 3 more shadows rush toward me. Don't even need to see where these are going. First attack showed me how far and fast these can go, so I have no trouble avoiding this one. Pass through the gaps between the 3 overlapping shadows. They're no threat. I don't feel any danger from the shadows. Saber taught me that I shouldn't hesitate as long as I don't sense the attack will be fatal. And they wouldn't be fatal because Sakura doesn't want to kill Shiro. So now we go back to morning, afternoon, sword training, Rin's lesson. So day 9. So in this one, we chose to see Tosaka. Now we're going to just wait for her. I'll just wait quietly. She must have gone out for a reason. I have to do the assignment I was given. Given what happened yesterday, I need to succeed as many times as I can today. Face lamps with renewed spirit. There are 20 left. I should go through them before Tosaka comes back. And yeah, okay. Do not skip the scene because we need to now backtrack to day 8 before dinner decision. So we have 3 choices here. They will all lead to the same end result. This is just, I guess, flavor dialogue. Concerned about a gift, my friend, for once, give me a peace of my mind. So this is when Fuji gave everybody a gift. She's actually going to force me to make pie. I should hide out for a while. She might actually force me to make an apple pie. Dinner's pretty much ready, so I'll step away for a bit. Where are you going with your apron on? Just going to head out front. Tosaka isn't home yet, so I figured I'd go out and check. Oh, how thoughtful of you, Shiro. Yeah, Tosaka's a girl, and she'll probably be happy to have you greeting her. I don't know what she's so happy about, but she seems me off cheerfully. Darn, now I really have to go outside, or it'll be awkward. Well, I guess I'll take a quick look. Take off my apron and head to the front entrance, but then I hear the door creak and the door of the bathroom swing open. Oh, a different sprite for Saber. Saber, hair down. Fresh from a shower. Sure, are you not preparing dinner? There's a brief silence. I know who I'm looking at, but I can't seem to find my tongue to speak. Why do you look so astonished? I hope nothing has gone amiss with the preparations for dinner. No. I somehow managed to get a reply out, but I know I sound completely stunned. She tilts her head in confusion. Her hair waves about her shoulders. The golden mane is wet, so it looks different than usual. And her hair isn't the only thing that's different. She certainly looks her age right now, and anyone can see how cute and frail she is. You're taking a bath, Saber. You were the one who suggested I do so. Alright, do you like baths, Saber? Yes, I discovered this when I became a servant. In life, I was prevented from taking baths by prying eyes all around me. She has an almost girlish expression on her face. It must be because her hair isn't done up in braids. Her gallant boyish form is nowhere to be found. If you're going to wash yourself, please go ahead. It's going to be cold tonight, so the warm water will feel good. Saber and I part ways, and she heads to the living room. I'm at a loss for words. I know Saber was a girl, of course, but still, she looks good wielding her sword. I've accepted that. That much I'd accepted, but what I just saw isn't fair to my faint heart. Yesterday, I accidentally saw Saber bathing. I didn't think it was real since I was so surprised at the time, but today is different. She really is a girl. I banged the back of my head against the wall. I don't know what to do, so I just end up staring at the ceiling. This isn't good. This is really bad. Muttering to myself, I lean back against the wall. The cold hallway clears my mind, and I find myself gradually returning to normal. Afterward, I still don't know what's wrong and what was bad. I'm completely lost. Okay. So, do not skip the scene, because we need to now load. Although I'm curious, did that give any Saber affection points? No. One would think it would. So we need to go back to dinner decision and eat the Tangerine's choice now. Virginia, you can have some apples if you want, but you better eat your quota of tangerines. You still have a whole box of them left, you know. Why do you have to remind me? I'm so tired of tangerines. Fujini's fangs, I mean her teeth, dig into an apple while she complains. What do you mean you're tired of them? That's why I was against it to begin with. There's just me, Sakura, and you in the house, but you brought over 10 pieces of mochi and 3 boxes of tangerines. You obviously brought too much for New Year's. It's already February, but we still have a whole box left. If you let them go bad, you're paying for them. May I ask, how long does it take for tangerines to rot? About 2 weeks to a month at room temperature, so they're nearly done for. I'm storing them in a cold room, so we should have a little bit more time. Oh crap, does that mean they're good to eat or not? Or about to rot? Fujini, I beg you never to live on your own. I have heard some really scary stories about food poisoning. If you live alone, you should at least check the expiration dates on food and be careful when you eat some fish in the summer. Don't worry about that. I'll just come to your place if I ever live alone. You can give me leftovers. Like hell I give you my leftovers, you dummy. You have a huge appetite. If you're going to come over for a meal, I'll just make enough for you too. In a huff, I turn my back away and go back to preparing dinner. Okay, then I'll just make tons of money and to give you enough to pay for all the ingredients you buy. You're good for nothing like Kiritsugu, so money's always tight. Big talk coming from you. Why do you get so many tangerines anyway? You know Sakura doesn't like those kinds of fruits, and I don't eat much of them either. May as well ask the question that's been bothering me. I'm checking. When do I need to go back to next? The next is Shopping District. No reason. Oh, but don't you think orange pico... I don't know what that word is. Has a nice ring to it. Well, I was a fool to expect sense from Fujini. Okay. So do not skip, because now we go back to the other day 8 scene, Shopping District, where we swing by the park. So this is where we can meet Ilya. I'll just take the long way home. It's about a 5-minute detour. I'm being whimsical here, and I don't need to make excuses about that. So we'll meet up with Ilya. Park my bicycle, step into the park, my groceries, sell my bike. Why am I still doing this in the first place? It's just so impulsive of me. I just had a passing thought that it would be nice to see her. And then I see a silver-haired girl standing off on her own. She doesn't seem to have noticed me. If I wanted, I could just leave. But if I were going to do that, I wouldn't have come here in the first place. Ilya. I'm curious, is this an Ilya affection? It is. It is completely meaningless, because Ilya will still murderize Shiro. But this is an Ilya affection point. That's kind of funny. So then next we need to go to the last part of day 8. Who's there? It's me, Shiro. Shiro, is that really you? Is that really such a surprise? This park's close to the shopping district, so me passing by here isn't all that strange. I'm honestly more curious what you're here again. Do you have that much free time? Oh, there's a bit of a grammatical error. They closed the quotation, or they closed the speech on the first sentence, but then they didn't restart it, so that's a bit of an error there. You're exactly right. I don't really have anything else to do, so I came here to play, but Stella said I shouldn't see you. She said it'd be no fun to play with you because I'm going to kill you soon anyway. Well, that's... whoa. That makes it pretty hard to come up with a response. But I don't think that's true, because being with you's fun. So I've been waiting here all this time thinking I might meet you again. So I'm glad you came, Shiro. Wait a minute, don't tell me you were waiting for me this whole time. Yep. It's been a really long time, and I was thinking of how nice it'd be if you came here. You dummy, I thought you didn't like the cold. If you want to see me, you should have come to my place. Okay, maybe not if you met Saber, that'd definitely lead to a fight. But still, there are plenty of other places you could have found me. You had no trouble finding me at the shopping district yesterday. No, I can't do that. I can't go and find you myself. I just broke the rules yesterday, just that once. So I decided to wait at this place I thought you might come, and I was right. Leah skips around excitedly. Her bouncing silver hair makes her look like a winter fairy. I got that, but why do you want to see me in the first place? If just talking to me like yesterday is enough, I would be happy to do it again. Nope, I don't have anything in particular to talk like yesterday. I just thought it'd be nice to see you today. Besides, we're enemies. I'll come kill you when the Holy Grail War is about to end, so we can talk then. She says it so innocently. The disconnect between her words and her manner are hard to swallow. It's not that she's going to kill me so much as how unfitting it seems for her to be a master. Do you want to do that? Did you really choose to get involved in this Holy Grail War yourself? It's my grandfather's orders. I'm the best suited to be a master out of all the Einsburn since I possess a really big Holy Grail. Interesting, that's a bit of foreshadowing. That means you're doing it because your grandfather ordered you. You didn't choose to be a master. Maybe. I don't really remember, but I've been a master since I was born, so it only makes sense for me to fight. That's wrong. If you're fighting just because someone told you to, you should stop. First of all, killing doesn't suit you. Oh, it doesn't sound like you're pleading for your life. You actually sound really worried about me, big brother. Of course I am. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but I hate the idea of someone like you fighting. If it were up to me, I'd rather see you quit being a master and go live a quiet life. I may consider it if you become my servant. If you did that, I wouldn't have to kill you. What the hell are you talking about? Do you really know what it means to ask me to be your servant? Besides, there's no way I could be a substitute for Berserker. I'm saying that you should stop fighting. I'm telling you to give up your servant, so why would you need me to be your familiar? Not a familiar, a servant. Servants are always with you, right? So that's why I just need to be by my side. Hold on a minute. Don't tell me, does Ilya think... Let me ask you something. What's a servant, Ilya? They're mine, right? They'll always be by my side and they'll protect me. That's what grandfather told me. I knew it. Ilya considers servants to be just that. Command spells masters, none of that matters. To her, a servant is just something that protects her. Got it, but no, still can't agree to that. So think of something else. What? I'm not good enough for you. It's not about being good enough, it's just that... I'm worried about Ilya, but I know I can't be by her side 24/7 either. Ilya, I have Saber, and as a master I need to stop other masters, so I'm sorry, but I can't be your servant. I made a concession because I was talking to you. You're going to pay for it. Hey, wait, hold on, Ilya. We haven't finished. Stupid Shiro, you're the worst for embarrassing a girl. There she goes. Ilya just runs out of the park, not listening to me anymore. I try to follow her, but I can't find her. Crap, this is just like yesterday. I sigh and go back to my bike. But I don't think she'll just suddenly attack again like we first met that night, so I should probably have one more chance to convince her. And you do not. I mean, you technically convince her, but also technically you don't. So now we need to go to a short break in the training. So this one had a bunch of splinter points. According to the flowchart, there is 5 that I do not have access to. I'm guessing these ones come from earlier choices, so we will have to... Possibly from the first sword training, so we're going to have to figure that out. A secret blade technique for dummies, let's ask that. Don't want to complain about this training. Also think there's some sort of secret move I could learn that might get me through this training. I might be more enthusiastic about sparring against Saber. Saber, hear me out. Yes, what is it, Shiro? You certainly look expectant. Think so? I just want to ask you a favor, and I have some high hopes for it, but let me get to the point. Something I want you to teach me. I'm not entirely sure what you want to learn, but I'll share with you what I can. Saber thinks it's a serious conversation, so she just sits in front of me in a formal stays position. So what is it you want to know? Is it about servants? She regards me seriously. I feel like I already know what's going to happen in the next few seconds here, but I should go for broke and ask anyway. Actually, you're really serious about this, so I want you to hear me out, and please don't get mad. That's why I mean to listen intently. Please do not hold back. Ask whatever's on your mind. I'm gonna take you at your word. So is there some sort of secret technique I could learn that would let me take down a servant? It'd be great if it were strong enough to even take you down. She stops breathing. Her brow doesn't move so much as a millimeter. I knew it couldn't be that easy, right? Sorry, I apologize. It was my bad. I was only joking, so I really appreciate if you just understood I was kidding and pretended you didn't hear any of that. Uh-oh. Just then, Saber grins wickedly. Saber, I must be imagining things, but you seem to have an evil smile on your face that doesn't quite fit you. Oh, it's not your imagination. I'm feeling every bit as wicked as Rin right now. That is a different expression on her face. Every hair on my body stands on end. Why are you so distressed, Shiro? I've not answered your question. If I recall correctly, you desire a secret attack powerful enough to defeat a servant in a single blow. I instinctively retreat, but Saber closes the distance between us, not allowing me to escape. You see, Saber, are you mad? Oh, very mad. Hey, Yeah, Shiro, you are a dead man. Hey, J6, welcome to the stream. Happy things. If Saber and I were to actually fight right now, I'd die. Hold it. Let's calm down, Saber. I regret what I said. I had a pretty good idea why you're mad, too. Do you now? Then please, sit yourself there, Siza style. My rage will not abate until I properly explain everything to you. Saber gets to her feet. I quickly sit up straight just as Saber had been, and brace myself for the worst. Saber takes a deep breath and... How can you be so ridiculous? What were you thinking asking me to teach you such a technique? Not as bad as I was made to worry about. I barely touched any of my 5-star servants. Barely touched them. The 3 stars did most of the work. I used almost every single Ellie. It was stressful in its own way, but not as bad as I was worried. Not as bad. The sheer volume is wreaking havoc on my poor ears. I had no idea her yelling alone could paralyze me. No human could ever shout so loud. It's like the roar of a beast. A lion. Yeah, and the thing is, Zahak didn't even stop by during the ORT streams to see me fight. And I streamed it like for 6 frickin' hours straight, starting at noon, essentially. I went like 6 hours from like noon. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Well, you can either check out the stream. You can check out old streams on Twitch, and you can watch the whole thing, or you can wait until it comes out on YouTube. You know? VODs, that's what they're called. That's what they're called. They're called VODs. It's like the roar of a beast, a lion. Sorry, I said I regret my actions. You're stronger than me. I just thought maybe you knew some kind of sword skill even amateurs could learn. No such easy path exists. An ambush is best used against an opponent with whom you're evenly matched. And amateurs like you must carefully build a foundation before even considering such a thing. Besides, I've already told you not to think about defeating your opponent. Defending yourself is your first priority. If there's such a special secret move for you, Shiro, it'll be gaining the ability to lead a battle without actual fighting. I know, got it, so can you tone down a bit? I'm sure how bad I feel at this. I clap my hands together like I'm praying for forgiveness. Honestly, I thought you had some potential, but then, a moment later, this is what you asked me. If you continue like this, it's simply too dangerous to leave you alone. Yay, you beat Radon. Did you summon... Did you make it a grand festival worthy of seeing Radon off? J6? Yes. Did you summon patches during the festival and see the message that popped up when you did? Saber continues scolding me. I stepped on the lion's tail and incurred her wrath. I'll just keep my mouth shut and endure Saber's scolding. Not gonna lie, though. Oh. Alright, so that is another one of the scenes. We still have 4 more to get. Luckily, the first sword training seems to be another choice. So let's go back to the very first sword training, which is here. You were doing Volcano Manor right before the festival. Oh. So you saw patches there, too. Gotcha. Trump card. Secret blade technique or something. Actually, let's do this one first. Know more about Saber before she became a servant. Before she became a servant, wonder what Saber was like when she was alive. She's so beautiful, everyone must have liked her. Calling her Saber is throwing me off, but I bet she was an ordinary girl that never held a sword back in the day. Right. This is still before Shiro really gets anything. One of Patch's assassination quests before the fast wanted me to kill one of the participants. Yeah, that does tend to happen. The festival can be either chock full of people to summon or very much empty of people to summon. It can very much. A wise choice, man. A very wise choice. So, Saber, what were you like before? I'm so curious, I just blurt out what's on my mind without thinking or even realizing I'm doing it. Come again, did you say something, Shiro? It's nothing, just trying to imagine what you were like. I'm not trying to find your true name out. I just wanted to know what your life was like. What kind of person I was. You're interested in the strange things, Shiro. You can just ignore the question if you don't want to answer. It just kind of popped into my head. You know, I know you're Saber servant, but I thought you must have been a completely different person before you became a servant. That's right. I imagine she lived a peaceful life, as befits a lovely girl like her. I do not think that is true. I was just checking if I'm blocking another quest before I proceed to kill the next target. That is a wise decision. You can lock out a lot of stuff by doing things in an improper order in Elden Ring. You can miss out on quest rewards and the like. You can indeed do so. One's personality does not change just because they can become a servant. I was a knight who was handed the sword the moment I was born. There was never any other for me. There was never any other me, as you might have imagined. Seriously, you've always been so harsh. That's no good. I kind of sympathize with people who are around you. What do you mean by that? I may be sure, but I do not recall being harsh to those around me. You hate how you missed out on Sylvis's questline because you didn't know giving Ronnie this finger slayer blade gets him killed instantly. Yeah. So you are... Right, you are going down that path. It's not... Honestly, there's not much that you missed as far as Sylvis's questline. You might have missed a bit of Selen's, though, by doing that. You might end up not being able to complete Selen's questline by doing that. Technically, he gives you a summon. He gives you a choice between two summons. I think you might have missed out on part of Selen's questline then. But, yeah, Sylvis, you can lock out other questlines per his. I would say do Selen's questline, because I don't remember if you actually need to interact with Sylvis, or if you just need to go to where he is doing things at. I do not recall if Sylvis needs to be alive. Read that he gives a magic talisman. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think I ever really did his questline. Just because, I mean, outside of getting the initial puppet, just because it's always kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy to just, you know what? I think I'm going to help this strange old man turn somebody into a living puppet for his enjoyment. That just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. There's some things I don't do even in video games. And that's kind of doing that kind of stuff's a step too far, you know? That can't be true. Today's training taught me you're merciless. Look at this, Walt. I make one tiny mistake and you happily drive it in at every opportunity, you demon. I did not do it happily. It may be tough on you, but it wouldn't be training if I were not strict. Yeah, I don't do his quest line either. I essentially murderize Dung Eater the second I get the chance. So I don't have the opportunity to turn him into a puppet. This is strange. I somehow never expected Saber to make a face like that. What's that look? I believe it's unfair of you to suddenly fall silent. Oh, never thought you'd get mad like that, so you just kind of surprised me. Exactly! That's why he dies the second you can kill him. Is that so? I thought I was only asserting my point. If you're not usually so emotive, that was new to me. I think so. I was simply expressing what I believe. Those aren't your feelings, they're your beliefs. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying you never speak straight from the heart. Of course not. What's required from me is my own personal opinion, but rather opinion based on my standing and position. That's true even now. I am a servant to Saber, and I will protect Shiro. There's no point in my saying anything unconnected with my purpose, and there's no sense in me thinking otherwise. That may be true, but that would be boring for you. You might have a role to fill, but that doesn't mean you need to devote yourself to that and nothing else. There are things you want to do, right? As I said, my job is to protect you. You're inexperienced as a master to begin with, so I'm attempting to train you because you so stubbornly insist you wish to fight in spite of my warnings. That's what I did on my playthrough. I beat everything before I fought the final game boss. Everything. Doing NG Plus, do the stuff you missed, and maybe start the DLC. I would heavily advise not going into the DLC New Game Plus. Do not go into the DLC at New Game Plus, because the DLC will get New Game Plus scaling. And the DLC is hell, even on normal difficulty, until you get the Scadu Tree fragments. May not be entirely true, but well, if you say so, then I guess it's okay. I feel like this entire conversation has softened Saber up a bit. She even looks a little more cheerful now, so as to not ruin the moment, I decided not to press the matter. Did that give a heart? That did give a heart. Both of these give a heart. Interesting. Okay, but we will skip scenes now, because I want to see if that unlocked any new decisions. You gave up on Bleed Build? Yeah, Bleed Build can be kind of cheesy. Okay, so... okay, we do get 2 new choices here. Okay, so we save. Here. So that's an easy, quick reload. Alright, so... we're at this flowchart point. There are 2 choices available here. We can ask to know what Saber is fighting for, or a secret blade technique that even crabs can use. Why does she want to fight so much? I might be able to understand her convictions a little more if I find out why she wants the Holy Grail. Can't really ask her that. Saber, can I ask you something? Yes, what is it, Shiro? There's something I forgot to ask. You're lending me your power because you want the Holy Grail, right? So what is your wish for the Holy Grail? Why I seek the Holy Grail? Will you be satisfied if I simply tell you I want it? The Holy Grail is an omnipotent vessel. There is no wish it cannot be granted if once you obtain it. One should hardly need reason for seeking such a thing. That's not what I'm asking. You're dodging the question. The go-to bleed build, by the way, J6, is a strength bleed build. Essentially, you use the giant maces that have giant spikes on them, and that's your bleed build. Shiro, that's... I'm not asking you why you're seeking it. I want to know what the wish you want granted. But if you don't want to tell me, you don't have to. Wishes aren't always something to be shared. Saber closes her mouth, embarrassed. I'm not surprised. She didn't form a contract with me to help me. Masters are the only ones who can obtain the Holy Grail, so she's only here to assist with that. And that's why she's hesitant to tell me her wish, but most of all, I don't want to hear her tell me about her selfish wish. So I shouldn't have asked. That's fair. If you are already invested, don't change it. Besides, it's disrespectful for someone without a clear wish to ask what someone else's wish. Are you commanding me as my master? That catches me off guard. She turns to look at me, her gaze as serious as her tone. No, I'm not. I didn't mean it that way. I was just curious. Sorry for asking such a dumb question. As a servant, I do need to disclose my desires to my master. I seek the Holy Grail to fulfill a certain obligation, a desire to fulfill a responsibility I once failed to see through to the end of my lifetime. She looks straight at me. I see no deceit in her eyes. Fulfill an obligation, and when you say lifetime, do you mean before you became a servant? Yes, in all honesty, I'm uncertain of my own intentions. Perhaps I only desire to do things over. There are some good Dex weapons in the DLC, J6. Saber looks down quietly. For a moment, she looks like she's a lost child seeking repentance. Okay, I'm actually relieved. I was worried you were going to say something Tosaka would say, like world domination. Rain would be angry if she heard that, but she's not the type to say such a thing. She means the Holy Grail for herself, but her wish would certainly not bring chaos upon the world. Think so? I think she probably shouldn't be the one to get the Holy Grail. I nod to myself. All the while, Saber watches me, her expression gentle. This conversation ends here. I should have never brought this up. The move between the two of us easiest thanks to the mention of Tosaka, and I decide to try it's best not to pry. But the ache in my heart still remains, even though I was relieved to know Saber's wish was not a materialistic one. I felt there was still something amiss with it. Okay, so that's that decision. Do not skip the scene because now we need to reload this scene. And ask for a secret sword technique that even crabs can use! Don't want to complain about the string. Also think if there's some sort of secret move I could learn that might get me through the string, I might be more enthusiastic about sparring against Saber. You certainly would expect it. Think so? Guess. Favor. So far, same lines. Size of position. So what does it want you to know? Is it about servants? Feel like I want to go. Serious. Don't ask. Take a word. So yeah, this is essentially the same. Okay, yeah. This is the same exact dialogue from the, yeah. Same exact dialogue from the choosing a idiot sword technique. Nowhere near as unique as the choice that gets Shiro operated on to have Gatling guns for hands. That was a good one. Yep, so this is the same exact line. Just gotta get through this scene, and then we can... Okay. Yep, everything's the same. So I'm guessing there will be multiple dum-dum choices. So now we once again... Nope. Now we once again... go back to morning sword training. And we ask for the secret technique early. Amongst the remembrance bosses you beat so far, the ones you deem easiest are Godric is easier than the Regal Ancestor, which is easier than Fortisac, which is easier than Renala. Renala's rated so high. That's not terribly surprising. Fortisac's so low, though. That is interesting that you rate Fortisac so low. So we asked for the secret blade technique early. Don't want to complain. I'll think some sort of secret move to learn about. Might be getting through training, more enthusiastic. Oh god, this is the same exact dialogue, so just a day earlier. Fortisac can be a pain. Yeah, so this is just a day early. So I wonder what kind of options that will open up in the following sparring session. But yeah, the Deathblight can be a pain for Fortisacs. I guess both of my builds have been kind of more strength-based, so that might be where I've had the issue. Yep, everything's the same. So, asking for a ridiculous technique will result in the same scene no matter when I do it. But this should unlock 2 new choices up ahead. Or it unlocks the... Okay, so these are the same scenes, but they're just... It just reorders these scenes. So I can just skip through these then. There is nothing new here. This is all dialogue we've asked before. Just asking for the ridiculous option early means you do not get to know both of these things. You'll never invest a single stat into faith. Why not? Actually, my first build was a strength faith build, now that I'm thinking about it out loud. Yeah, it was strength faith. I remember now. Because I was Black Flame all the way. No, wait, that was my second build. I was Black Flame all the way. I don't remember much of the first one. Because that was a long, long time ago. Okay, so I need to look back. When is the next split point that I need to reload from? Looks like all the way back to Shinji Day 6 would be the next load point. Here. I do wonder what the definitive split between the Fate route and the other routes starts at, though. Because theoretically, they should all have the same base. It's got to be before Day 6, at least. I mean, following by the only other visual novel I've played, it's a decision on Day 1 that determines the route you decide. You just like most of the Fate-related weapons. That's fair. Excuse me. Mind you, I mean, there is some good ones in the DLC, but again, you kind of said that you don't want to do DLC in the base until after. I mean, it is fair to... I will say, at the very least, it would be fair to wait until you are up to the final boss before doing the DLC. Because, apparently, if you do the DLC first, you're going to be very over-leveled by the time you return to the main game. So we stay away from danger and do not talk to Ryder. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. No matter how pretty she is, Ryder reeks of blood. That alone should be enough to keep me on my guard. And I really don't know where to look, so talking to her is not a priority. Wow, Shiro! Wow, you don't know where to look when talking at Ryder. What is it? Quickly avert my gaze. Nothing. Thanks for seeing me off. Okay, so where's the next point I need to reload from? Leaving school for the day. So day 5. Run down the hill. Dark Servant sees me off in spite of my being completely open to attack. Okay. So now we load back to day 5. We are getting very close to the end of going through all possible options for the Fate route. So let's ask about Archer this time. That guy. Should ask about Tosaka's servant, Archer. Saber defeated him in a single attack, though she did surprise him, so I have no idea how powerful he is. Hey Saber, want to know more about Archer? Did you notice anything about him? Archer? No, no more than what you did. His basic combat abilities may be a bit better than mine, but I have not experienced his noble phantasm or combat skills. I can tell you that we should not be confident around him, simply because we beat him once. The final Tezcat Lapoka fight. So spoilers for those watching this, or who plan to watch the actual, LB7s when I put them up. But, yeah, the final Tezcat fight. First time I went in, I was expecting the friggin', switch everybody around thing, so I brought, Tyra in the back line, and then that didn't happen. But luckily I had the command code on to swap positions, so I swapped positions. But then he frickin' wiped me, I think it was. So I had to restart the battle. And I went in with Jalter and I rinsed him. No, I didn't even get to... I just restarted early because he killed Tyra before I even took out his last bar. That's right, he did beat me because he got his NP off, and it was devastating. So when I restarted the battle, I went in with a proper team and Jalter just rinsed him. It didn't happen really, really quick, and that guy, I can't put my finger on it, but in that moment, when Saber attacked him, I had this uncanny feeling. Like it was a surprise attack, but it wasn't. That Red Knight looked like he had already sensed Saber's presence, but he froze the moment he saw Saber, so he couldn't react to Saber's onslaught. Maybe he knows you. I have a feeling it wasn't a surprise attack that made the blow land, but just him being surprised at seeing you. I see, that would make more sense. Being a bowman, it's natural that he would be inferior to me in single combat. He was considerably weaker than even that. It occurred to me that something may have prevented him from using his full potential. Right? And I've actually seen him fight Lancer. Lancer fight. Archer might not have gone on the offensive, but his defense was incredible. I assume there was something wrong with him since you attacked him so easily. You're trying to say that he took it easy on me? Rather than being upset at an easy victory, she seems to be more bothered that he might have taken easy on her. Saber glares at an unseen enemy. Very well. Once your alliance with Rin is over, I shall make him regret that insult. Yeah, his mirror is dumb. But it wasn't, in the end, it was a tense fight that I very much appreciated. I do like how LB7 ended, and I look forward to doing the Ordeal Call prologue on Friday, along with the start of the Valentine's event. Speaking of, I should probably change my stream schedule to reflect that. I suddenly find myself defending Archer. Oh, are you saying Archer's actions are to be forgiven? Rather, you seem to be defending him out of sheer goodwill. I do not want to believe it to be true, but I must ask, do you prefer Archer as your servant? That's impossible. I'll have you know that he rubs me the wrong way. I've never talked to him before, but I know that he and I wouldn't get along, even just from seeing him at a distance. That's relief. I knew there was no cause for concern, but I'm relieved to hear you say that. Hear it said. Okay, you took me by surprise, but why are you so relieved at that, Saber? Is me hating Archer a good thing? You're right, it certainly is a strange thing for me to dwell upon. Well, it's probably a matter of our compatibility in battle. My specialty as a servant lies in melee combat, while Archer specializes in range combat. 1 PM isn't helping. Oh, 1 PM isn't helping you come to watch the streams? Yeah, a lot of other people complain that I stream too late, so I decided to try streaming early. But I've changed it, so now it's going to be Friday at 6. If you were to be more compatible with Archer, that would mean you wouldn't be compatible with me. If that were the case, none of us would be able to play each other's strengths. So we're not as convinced that must be the reason for her relief. I guess so. Either way, we have absolutely no information on Archer. We still don't know which hero he is, or what age he's from, or what kind of noble phantasm he possesses. Ah, you have class at 1. Okay, that's fair. So Tuesday, I am going to be trying to stream 4 days a week. I'm thinking of, maybe doing sponsored streams, because I keep getting emails from Stream Elements saying that they will sponsor my streams if I stream specific things. So I'm debating if I should do that, just to make some money, because I don't really have a job right now. Because I am doing my own classes full-time. Technically, it's online courses, and it's only 1 day a week right now, but yeah, you get those two. I'm debating it, at least like 1 stream a week, just to see what it's like. Who knows? I'll find out. I'll know for sure by next week, but this week is a bit more in flux just because the FGO event drops Friday, so I wanted to get this done because I want to get all of the Fate route out. So starting next week, I will have a more firm stream schedule about Lancer, that guy. I should ask about the very first servant I encountered, Lancer. Saber fought against him and looked like she figured out who he was. I should also check. So back to the lunch break decision. Good gracious, we still have so many decision points. We've got to be reaching a point where we're going to be splitting off to the Fate route, though. We have to be reaching a point where the Fate route breaks off into Unlimited Blade Works. At least I got a flowchart. True. You know who that Lancer guy is? The original didn't have the flowchart function, I'm guessing. Yeah, when you fought him off, he said something about Ireland. Thought maybe you figured out his identity. That's what you mean. Surprised. I never thought you'd be interested in knowing servants' identities. Totally can give you advantage. Why do you look so pleased? Starting to see that you're willing to fight. We can come up with strategies to deal with opponents whose identities we know. Taking down opponents whose weaknesses have first found one is fundamental tactics in battle. Oh, so you're talking about the other VN you have played, which does not have a flowchart then. I don't intend to seek someone out to fight if they haven't done anything wrong, but I'll only derail the conversation if I bring that up. So is it about his identity? From your tone, looks like you know it, Saber. Yes, that red spear of his, those rings protecting his entire body and his abilities focus so intently on survival. I have no doubts about that servant's identity. His true name is Cuchulainn. He's a great hero of Ireland who wields the demonic spear Gaebolg. Cuchulainn. Never heard that name. Then again, I don't know much about Irish mythology. So this Cuchulainn guy strong? He's not famous in this country, so his prominence may be diminished, but regardless, he still has more than enough power. His agility is unrivaled, and I believe his noble phantasm is the most suited for this war. His NP. You mean a spear? Now that I think about it, that thing was moving really weird. Is that what Gaebolg is all about? Most likely, yes. There are many variations of Legend of Gaebolg. Some say it's a cursed spear that kicks at one target. Others say it's a demonic spear capable of growing 1,000 thorns the moment it pierces its enemies. There's 2 different legends, isn't it? So how can you call it a legendary weapon? Kicks at one's target. What do you mean by kicks at one's target? There's more to that legend. There may be there's many legends about Gaebolg, but each of them agrees that the spear always pierces the heart. I'd always assumed it was based on the wielder's abilities rather than the weapons, but it seems I was mistaken. The demonic spear identity Gaebolg means Lancer's spear ability is literally piercing the heart of his enemies. The moment she brings this up, I vividly recall the scene. That night, the spear thrust at Saber's feet suddenly changed trajectory, heading straight for the heart instead. Oh, really? They referenced it all the way back then. Huh. I thought that was like a mistype. I thought it was like a typo or something. Because I know Gaebolg has 2 variants, an anti-personnel and an anti-fortress NP. I didn't realize that. It means a spear is... Yes, it's a demonic spear that's guaranteed to pierce the opponent's heart when used. It either bends time and space or the law of causality to allow it to move like that. Though it probably is a combination of the spear's curse and Lancer's own abilities, there's no weapon better suited for single combat. It's exceedingly practical. Practical? What's that supposed to mean? Do you not understand? Lancer's spear may not be powerful enough to destroy something as large as a castle, but it's perfectly suited to kill a single human being. An NP consumes magical energy proportional to its magnitude. An A-rank NP should consume massive amounts of magical energy when used. Once it's used, it'll take a tremendous amount of time to replenish that lost magical energy. However, to kill one person, nay a single servant, no such destructive force is needed. There can be no better tactical advantage than Lancer being able to do so with a single attack. So what you're trying to say is that it would cost less to shoot a single arrow than a cannonball. Correct, however, a single arrow would typically not be effective against servants. Ultimately, battles between servants require attacks more in line with the force of a cannonball. Lancer's gay bulk, while might only be a single arrow, can potentially be fatal with just one strike because it's not just a graze, but a fatal strike through the heart. Exactly, on top of that, it does not require much magical energy to deploy. The amount of magical energy consumed is so low, he could use his MP perhaps 7 times without needing to replenish his magical energy. True, the Thorns does make sense with Q-Alter's NP. That's why his demonic sphere is well suited for this war. Ordinary servant would require rest after a few battles, but Lancer has the potential to fight 6 opponents if need be, though it would have to be single combat in his case. In other words, he may not be a flashy servant, but he can manage a solid win. I wonder how Gaebolg would serve against Media. He was using a lot of unnecessary and impractical moves. He was toying with me when he fought me. And that's true. Lancer appears to be a curious sort of person. He may have been quite heartless in history, but there was always also a side of him you really could not hate. I might agree, but I still shouldn't let my guard down. That guy stabbed me in the chest as casually as if he were cutting grass. Neither Berserker nor Lancer are the type to hesitate about using weapons they wield. Okay. So, lunch break decision time. So in this split, we explained things to Rin, and that did not bring up a branch to Unlimited Blade Works. So this choice might be available in Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel as well, or this might be the final thing. So if we explain everything to Sakura, Hector this morning can possibly explain. So talk to Sakura now. Head up to the 4th floor, first year classroom, peek in her classroom. Sakura notices me right away. Something really matters, Senpai. She steps in the hallway, tilts her head in confusion. Thought she would be depressed after what happened with Shinji this morning, but she seems fine. Nothing happened. Come over to ask you to forgive me for what happened with Tosaka. Couldn't talk with you about it this morning. Want to apologize before I went home. What about Miss Tosaka should I forgive you for? Thing where she's going to stay with me for a while. Should have consulted you first, but instead I decided on my own. I'm sorry. There's a legitimate reason for her staying over, and it's nothing shameful. You might not forgive me, but I just wanted to tell you that. Shiro, it is your house. You do not need to consult with anybody to get her to stay there. I lowered my head apologetically. Please don't do that, Senpai. There's no reason for you to apologize. I was certainly surprised when I learned Miss Tosaka was going to stay over, but Miss Fujimura approved the arrangement, so I didn't see any problem. You're a master of your own home, and so you can do as you wish with it, and it's not my place to say anything about it. Hey, dummy, what the hell are you talking about, Sakura? That house is mine, Fujini, and yours. I shouldn't decide things on my own. Senpai. That's why I need to apologize. Rather than be mad at Tosaka, you should be mad at me because, well, I'm the one who invited her over without consulting my family first. And if you don't want her over, I'll call it off. I know it's not enough to earn your forgiveness, but I can't continue to do something you don't like. This isn't me trying to smooth things over, I'm speaking from the heart. Teaming up with Tosaka doesn't mean she needs to live with me. There should be other ways to effectively work with her. Like you live with her! Then I'll forgive you. I will allow Miss Tosaka to stay over. I also forgive you for being selfish. Is that what you want, Senpai? Are you sure, Sakura? Yes, and I will not ask about the circumstances. I'm satisfied just hearing you say that. She looks at me smiling warmly. She's not pretending. She's giving me her honest approval of Tosaka staying with me. Thanks, Sakura. Really glad. Well, I'm the one who's glad. Oh, but may I ask you something? If I'd told you I didn't want Miss Tosaka to stay, what would you have done? If you'd have done that, I'd have gone to her instead, because I actually do need to be with Tosaka for a while. You'd need to go to her instead. Instead of her staying with me, I'd probably have to stay at her place. That way I wouldn't need to bother you or Fujini about our arrangements. The thought of staying at a home of a girl I admire, or rather admired, would be terrifying, but I had no other choice. I appreciate it. If that happened, I think she would have teased me even more than she does right now. That's a relief. I'm glad Sakura forgave me. Wait. What's wrong? You look pale. I called her, asking if she's alright. She seems to be lost in thought. I'm so glad I didn't say that. She sighs deeply for some reason. Oh, there's still more! It's after school. The school day ended and I prepare my bag to go home. She's waiting, so I should go straight home. Saber's waiting, so I should go straight home. There are a few students scattered in the hallway. Some students go to their club activities, some still in here killing time. And a student who's about 10 meters away stomping toward me, looking real mad. There's so many kinds of students still around. I think there was something strange in that mix of students, so I quickly turned and head to the stairs. I just remembered I was told to do something this morning. I may have been told something, but at this point, the only choice is to pretend I forgot. Actually, I don't see that working. I'll just say I didn't hear. Hold her right there. You got guts running away when you see me. Damn, I got caught. Actually, there's nowhere for me to run if I go home, so I let myself get caught here to minimize the damage. I turn slowly. Yeah, she's absolutely livid. The way she looks now, you wouldn't even imagine she's the school's top honor student. What a coincidence, Tosaka. Want to go home together if you're leaving? We're heading the same way anyway. Don't let's go home, Shiro, you idiot. Do you have any idea of the position you're in right now? I was going to warn you, so why didn't you come to the rooftop earlier? She looks so threatening. At this point, she won't listen to any excuses I make, but she probably won't calm down if I don't explain myself. So I went to talk to Sakura at lunchtime so I couldn't go to the rooftop. She's showing no signs of calming down, so I tell her the truth. And then she looks at me blankly like she's just seen a ghost. You went to Sakura? You mean you went and talked to her about me staying at your place? Yeah, I remember how we left things in the air with her this morning, so I went to ask her for approval before asking you to stay over. Blah, blah. Tongue's getting tied here because I've been speaking for a while. See? Can't say much then, can I? She sheathes her sword just like that, and then for some reason... Fine, I forgive you for ditching me at lunchtime. I'm sorry for making you do extra work for Sakura. She looks sullen as she makes her apology. There's nothing for you to apologize for. Why'd you call me to the rooftop? It was important, right? Yes, I told you to meet me there because I had something to tell you. As a master, I wanted you to be careful because there's a abandoned field set up over the school. Wait, abandoned field? Here at school? That's right, you may have not noticed. Tricky thing has been set up. Seals or signs are installed around a wide area. Once they're activated, the whole thing will envelop the entire school. It's intended to steal the flesh and blood of all the people within the bounded field. Looks like it's still at its beginning stages, but haven't you noticed how listless everyone seems? Now that she mentions it, I felt strange 2 days ago, but what was that? Why? That means there's a master at school. Exactly, we have an enemy lurking here. Do you get it now, Emiya? They're not likely to attack at school, but I wanted to tell you to be on alert so you're prepared for battle anyway. No wonder she's so mad. Here I was spending my entire day in ignorant peace. Sorry, I should have met you at lunchtime. You damn well should have. Saber entrusted you to me, so if you had skipped out for some reason, I would have to cast a gas on you to force you to come. But let it pass this time. As it turns out, nothing happened today. So all's well that ends well. I feel better hearing her say that. Do you know who set it up? Is someone from school? No, I don't know yet. I don't sense the presence of any other mages here other than me, so they may be an outsider, but there are cases where an amateur like you winds up becoming a master too. Can't be sure, but there's a good chance it's someone from this school. They'd have to not stand out here, since they managed to set up a bounded field at school and all. Someone who wouldn't seem suspicious if they came into school, so it'd either be a student or a teacher. Whoever it might be, that means Tosaka and I aren't the only masters here. That's not the only problem. Listen, Shiro, once this bounded field is complete and activated, it'll dissolve and absorb everyone inside. Think of it like they're in the belly of some creature. Or rather, we might not be affected because we're protecting ourselves with magical energy, but anyone who doesn't possess magical energy will weaken and die without their knowledge. This is way beyond just involving ordinary citizens. If this bounded field activates, it will kill everyone in the school. You understand? There's a master in the school who's willing to make a bounded field this awful. My vision blurs momentarily. Take a deep breath so I can make sure I fully comprehend what Tosaka's trying to say. It stops there. I attempt to imagine the worst possible outcome, even if my imaginings may fall short, and I keep that image deep within my heart and accept the position I've been placed in. Get what you're trying to say. So can't we try to destroy the bounded field? Try, but it's impossible. Found all the sources. Can't destroy them. Only thing I can do is temporarily weaken them to delay the whole thing from activating. As long as you're here, it can't be fully formed. I can only hope, but it's wishful thinking. It's set up already. It's already set up, and magical energy needed to activate is accumulating. According to the Archer's estimates, it'll be ready in about 8 days. When it's ready, either the master or servant will transform the school into a living hell. Before that happens, we need to defeat the master looking in the school, but it'll be challenging to find them. Pretty much been at their mercy from the moment that battlefield was formed. The master just needs to wait until it's ready to be activated. They don't need to make themselves known until then, so our only chance we have is when they come out, right? Bingo. You should stay quiet until then. You'll have to fight whether you like it or not when the time comes. It'd be stupid to let the enemy find you. Or are you going to search for the master yourself? I get it. We can't leave someone who would make a bounded field like that on loose, but since I can't know who they are, just making a move at random might cause a lot more problems than it solves. Exactly, I've already done everything I can to slow the bounded field down for today. I'll handle the rest tomorrow. Nothing left to do at school, so how you head home. I'm fine going home now. What about you, Tosaka? Don't worry about me. Saber's waiting for you. She'll get mad if you don't hurry home. I forgot. Saber was against me going to school, and she only allowed me to do so under the condition I come home before sunset. Still more. Then see you later. Go home. No detours. She makes her way towards the back of the school. Maybe she has something to do at the gym. After watching her backside headed toward the gym After watching her backside head toward the gym for... Wow, Shiro, wow. Being obvious, man. Being obvious. Alright. So now we load before noon with Saber. I think this had 2 splinter points. Yeah. This has 2 splinter points. This one has the same indications for, like, a dead end, so I'm curious as to that, as does that one. But we'll find out. I think we are getting to the point where we're not really in the Fate route anymore. Again, I don't know what the split points are, though. I really don't. Let's find out. Are you okay, Saber? Because we saw you get gutted. I'm worried about her. She's pretty hurt. Are you alright? Looks like you're take a beating. You can see my body's back to normal. Wound severe enough to ensure defeat, not fatal. Finish recovering an hour after Berserker retreated. You're back to normal already. Excuse me. Of course, not entirely peak condition. Able to heal my wounds. They were rather mundane. Wound from Lance, whose NP is another factor. Must have been imbued with the spell's curse. The wound has not completely healed. Not completely healed. She doesn't look wounded. She doesn't seem the type to complain about pain. As long as I'm fighting with Saber, it sounds like I'll need to keep a pretty sharp eye on her well-being. Wow, that was a short scene. That was a very short scene. What kind of hero is Saber? Ask her real name. Told me that they're created from heroic spirits. Means you must have a real name. What is it? What's your name? She said that it's best for the fight ahead if I know who my servant is, what kind of hero they are. Heroic spirits. Heroes made from the name throughout history and through the world. Conceal their identities as well as their skills. Their true name isn't something to reveal lightly. Masters should know. Without knowing their identity, masters won't know their strengths and abilities. Masters and servants are one. Pairs simply cannot battle effectively if one has something to hide. They just can fight like that. About that, I ask you forgive me for my insolence. Some servant must typically reveal their true name to their master, but I cannot fulfill that obligation. What do you mean you cannot fulfill it? I'm basing this on my own understanding of the situation, in spite of whatever intention or efforts to your part to protect my true name. There are numerous ways which an enemy could use magecraft to rip that knowledge from you. You have little resistance. A skilled mage should easily take the advantage of this. Should you fall under an enemy spell, you may reveal my true name entirely against your will. And so I do not wish for you to know my true name. Okay, I get it. You're right, I'd give it up the moment a spell was cast on me. Besides, the practice of revealing a true name is typical in normal master-servant relationship. Even if I knew her true name, I wouldn't be able to come up with an effective strategy, and I wasn't even all that interested in the first place. Okay, let's keep it a secret. Given I'm inexperienced, we should take every precaution. I appreciate your understanding. Then again, I'm not as renowned or distinguished as the likes of Berserker anyway. It may not be much of a difference, even if my name were to be revealed. King Arthur not... Okay, maybe not as famous as Heracles, but still. King Arthur is pretty damn famous. Her tone is regretful. Hadn't quite expected that. She seems to have a human side to her, which lets show, revealing how she's frustrated. She may be inferior to a Berserker as a hero. It doesn't matter. Ace up your sleeve is only valuable if it isn't concealed. I can tell you're trying to be creative since you ended up with such a terrible master. Besides, don't you think Berserker's kind of unfair anyway? There's no reason for you to get depressed about it. And from my point of view, you weren't completely inferior to that thing. You were injured pretty bad, but you were holding your own. You may be right. I was caught off guard last night, but once my wounds are fully healed, things will go differently. I hope so. I look away, my response is pretty half-hearted. That caught me off guard. When she smiles, then I hear something heavy hit the floor. What's that? I turn to face the town. At the door, Tosaka with a duffel bag at her feet. What? My mind comes to a screeching halt. I thought she'd gone home, but here she is at the dojo in her ordinary clothes. And why is she carrying so much stuff? What are you doing here? I feel like this is the same scene. Went home, get stuff. Sensible since I'm going to be living here. What? Live in my house. I think you were talking to me earlier. Can't even speak. Something. Turn off brain. Yep, this is the exact same. Yep, this is the same scene. So the start is different, but it ends wrong. Or ends the same. Yeah. Servant takes up space. Needs to set up a place for her to rest. Just QTF 1 feet done. Oh, Saber same, but yep. That was the early game teaser. Saber staring at me. Looks rather stern. Yep. Protect. Always bit. Yep. So the same song and dance. Nothing new here. It's been a while, but I do recall this scene. we'll just skip over this. Which is good, because my throat is killing me. Been almost 2.5 hours straight of speaking. But we're getting close to the end of retreading through the Fate route and getting every option done. Better than an 8-hour VN playthrough. True. Especially if you can't make multiple save points. You've done that a couple times. Yeah. Luckily, the VN I plan to play following up this one is still long, but there is a lot less save points that need to be gone through. Luckily. But after that VN, I need to think of what VN. It's a VN that I hold very close to my heart. The very first VN I ever played, Katawa Shoujo. And after that, I have no idea. Maybe Hollow Atraxia, if that has come out. If Hollow Atraxia has come out, then after Katawa Shoujo will be Hollow Atraxia. Otherwise, I have no idea. Because I kind of want to keep doing VNs, but if I can't find one I'd like, then, you know. And, yep, this is all the same dialogue. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned before Katawa Shoujo, so that... I recommend some of the older key VNs. What do you mean by key VNs? Newer ones aren't good. Key is a VN company. Oh. Well, that's still probably, like, many, many months away, so I would say you don't really need to worry about it all that much right now. Let's check the flow chart. Oh, okay. I thought I went back a bit too far, but no, I went back appropriate amount. So, not team up right now. We can't team up. This isn't something I should be agonizing. I'm gonna enter while Tosaga is a first-rate mage and master. Given what happened last night, teaming up with her is clearly a wiser choice, but I want to hear your answer. Doing it right now feels like jumping the gun. I don't think she's trying to deceive me, but I should figure things out on my own. Otherwise, I won't know right from wrong. Sorry, I appreciate your concern, but I can't give you the answer you want. As heavy as this whole thing is, I don't think I should just jump to a decision here. I meet her glare and dig the proverbial heels in. She slightly narrows her eyes and gives me an emotionless nod. But I guess that's it. Though you're right about one thing. If you really want to win, you can't trust anyone. That isn't true. I trust you, I just don't think I can make this decision on my own. If I'm Saber's master, I shouldn't make commitments without looping her in. They have 2 VNs that were made by a fan they helped create and publish. Those 2 are relatively short. I see. You're right. You're a master now. She nods again, acceptance, and quickly turns away. Her long hair sways as she walks. With that, the girl who might have been my ally turns back. See you around. Next time, we'll meet as enemies. And leaves me with a cold warning, just like Ilya did. Okay. So, still the same scene. Want to check that. Okay. Take a quick breath and try to organize my thoughts. I haven't had time to think since witnessing that fight between Lancer and Archer back at school. Lancer stabbed me in the chest at school. Somehow I survived, and then Lancer attacked me again. Saber saved me, and I became a master. I need to actually think of what kind of genre of VNs I want to do as well. Had things explain the church, Holy Grail lore, battle to death, Holy Grail device set to grant any wish to the victor. So much I still don't understand, but I have a reliable guide to help me out. I should talk to Saber first. After making a full round of the house, Saber's nowhere to be found. I even checked the detached guest rooms, but I can't find her. It's weird, her armor isn't camouflage. A fully armored Saber still eludes me. Supposedly they can turn into spirit forms. Unfortunately, she can't with me. First of all, even though I'm called a master, I don't know anything about her. Don't even know what she is or how servants are able to exist. The one thing I do know is... It really doesn't matter how much stronger or better someone is, they can be wounded in a fight, and if they bleed when they're wounded. People bleed when they're wounded! Oh, Saber is in the still silent dojo. She looks different than she had last night. She's sitting upright, her legs tucked beneath herself, wooden floor, not wearing armor. Changed into rather elegant clothes that suit her. She sits and waits. Words fail me at the sight. She looks beautiful. She strikes a refined, dignified figure as she sits there, eyes closed. She seems almost merged with the silence, like nothing so much as still water. And that rids me of any further doubt in my mind. Servant or whatever, she seems sacrosanct. So from now on, I'm sure I won't go down the wrong path. I called her. She calmly opens her eyes and meets my gaze. You're awake, Shiro. Her voice is serene. Something rich and calm about her voice hangs in the air. Just woke up. What you doing here? I was resting. I cannot treat you, and I figured I would at least ensure this body's in perfect condition as I can make it. She gives me a straightforward response as she scrutinizes me. This is making me nervous in a different way than Tosaka. What is it? Is your body still? No, I'm totally fine. It's something else, really. Nothing. I quickly take a step back and shake my head. Looking away from Saber, who tilts her head at me quizzically, I try to recall my rapid heartbeat. Get hold of yourself. What are you getting worked up like this? Take a deep breath. Don't think this feeling is going to go away anytime soon. But you have to change. Can't help myself. With her in that outfit, I can't actually think she's real now. Seriously, she's drop-dead gorgeous. I mean, I saw that yesterday, but it's actually setting in now. And seeing her dressed in a girlish outfit, that makes it really difficult for a normal boy my age to act properly. As soon as we make eye contact, I feel my nervousness grow. But again, I wasn't looking everywhere for her just to stay silent. It's uncomfortable, so I can't let it be awkward. May I, Saber, this is the first time we sit down and actually figure things out, but I bite the bullet. But then, before that, there's something that I would address regarding last night. Oh, alright. Oh, I accidentally pressed the back button somehow. Fairly displeased, can't fathom. What is it? Said last night, you're my master, if it's troubling to take such actions, come into my territory, stay behind me. Out of line of fire, cannot protect you, we go out on your own. Apparently determined to die in vain as you nearly did. She doesn't mince words, her tone is enough to forget my anxiety. What the hell, if I had intervened, you'd been cut in half. Perhaps I would have died, but you would have not been hurt. Let me repeat myself, do not do that again. My master need not defend me, nor is there any reason to do so. Don't be stupid, I don't need reason to protect a girl. She stiffens as if surprised to see me upset at her. Then her look becomes one of indescribable dignity. I find myself taking a step back under her severe expression. Now I just feel embarrassed, like I said something incredibly tone-deaf. Anyway, thanks for taking me home, I appreciate that. I turn around and thank her. It's embarrassing enough to thank her like this, but in this situation it feels even more awkward. Even so, it's only right to thank the person who saved my life. You're most welcome. It is a servant's duty to protect their master, but it's still nice to be acknowledged. You're very courteous, Shiro. I don't think I'm particularly polite. Something more pressing I need to bring up. Let's get back on topic. I can call you Saber, right? Form contract, be your sword, she'll follow your orders, attack your enemies, protect you, doesn't hesitate. Totally leaves no room. Sword, win the Holy Grail thing. Is that not why you summoned me? Actually, it was a coincidence. Figured set, not full-fledged, no real knowledge or power. Now I've decided with two, I'll fight, experience, but are you okay with that? Of course, you're my master. Immutable fact, servants do not have the freedom to choose their masters. Didn't know that. If it's true, I need to respect Saber's needs and actions as best I can. You're okay with me being your master? Yes, however, I will not allow defeat. If you do not have a chance, my duty to carve a path to victory. Use any means possible. Servants do not see our masters out of charity. We also desire the Grail. You want the Grail too? Only ones who can touch the Grail are servants. Masters victorious will obtain the Grail through their servant. Afterwards, the servant's wish will be granted as payment. That is the nature of relationship. Oh, come to think of it, there's no reason for absurdly strong spirits to listen to humans. They have their own reasons. Saber has a wish granted. That's why she doesn't hesitate to fight, even incompetent as I am. Can I ask one more thing? Masters are mages who summon servants. Saber and Lance aren't your real names. Based on roles. Rough explanation. Servants' names based on from tides periods. Great deed. Some way demi. Not much is obvious. Heroic spirits. Supernatural. Blah blah blah. Same time, this is our weakness. Heroic spirits each left a mark on history. Our weakness is also recorded. Revealing our names and identities will be revealing our weakness. Using the name of Saber to conceal your real name. Not the only reason. So yeah, we're now just getting a general overview that I'm pretty sure Rin normally gives. Just from Saber this time. Yeah, because I've seen this scene before. Or these different things. I think Rin gave it last time, though. I do like that FGO uses these original class cards, though. Even though I'm pretty sure none of these class card backs are actual servants. Which is kind of wild. The opponent with sword, have to come up with another way. Don't discover skill, assassin locks capacity to hide, blah blah. Okay. Yeah, my throat is hurting. This is all rehashes of what Rin has told us, just framed from Saber's point of view. So, given that this is going to be part of the Fate route video, I'm not going to reiterate these points. I'm trying to not reiterate anything that has already been said before, which is why I also skipped over the rehashes of some things. NP Invincible Sword. Looks uncomfortable. Quest, true name. So yeah, and this kind of just, this is kind of just rehashing the other choices as well. Moving on, talk through most things, I understand the situation. My servants have a mark. No way to fight. No way to identify. Able to sense presence. Master's presence. Didn't realize his identity. Master command spells. And then, can you close your eyes for a moment? Her face is stern. Close my eyes. I'm going to prove you're my master. Just listen, close your eyes, and listen to your breathing. This seems new. Close my eyes, feel something slightly touch my forehead. It's oddly pointed. Could it be the end of her sword? You're not doing something weird. Please be quiet and concentrate on my fingertip. If you're a mage, you should be able to feel my magical energy from that. Saber's finger touching me. Put myself together and quiet my mind. Okay, yeah, so we don't get the book in this route, in this choice then. That's interesting. Because at this point is when Tosaka gives us the book. Rin gives us the book. Abbreviated explanation. Sorry for the trouble. No need to apologize. Understand the situation we're in. Take next steps. Then tells me, probably the same as Tosaka, the sword to strike first. Still plan on going look for masters like Tosaka. Don't plan to. Not what we just talked about. Do not have any intention of pursuing the Grail. Her eyes narrow. Their eyes of cold-headed night. Stare back, trying to let myself be intimidating, clearly convey my intentions. Of course I do, and because I don't want to fall in the wrong hands, don't have any particular reason to want the Grail myself. That doesn't mean I'm not going to fight. I'm a mage, even if I'm an amateur, I know I can't back out of the situation, and I won't be able to make it out alive sitting and do nothing. Instead of fighting, you will fight to prevent conflict. Guess that's what that means. Yes, can't explain it, but something worth fighting for. Honestly, the idea of the Grail doesn't feel real to me. Fighting battles, that I can fight my hardest, do it with pride. I don't understand. You say you're a mage. Should desire the Grail. Mages not master their craft because of which they cannot grant themselves. Not sure. Don't have any wishes. Do have a lot of things I want to do, though. That's why I need to do everything in my power to keep innocent people out of this battle. And you won't need the Grail. You'll not fight for it. That's not what I'm saying. Every intention of getting it. Just not says I'm not going to fight. Words contradictory. Why would you bother fighting for something you have no need of? Because winning means you get the Grail, and most of all, you need it. We have to get it. Yeah, I don't know what kind of people other masters are like. Some may be good people. Decide I'm going to be on your side. If you want the Grail, then I'll give my all to help you. I'm only echoing my old man's opinion. If you want to champion justice, you need to be an egoist. Pointless to support everybody, you just need to ally yourself with only people you like and trust. Never thought of it that way, but now I think I should. Can't just fight for myself. But what I can do is fight for you, Saber. And to be honest, if this girl wants that seriously, it's only natural to obtain it for her no matter what. I mean, don't all guys think that way? I mean, you would forfeit the fight if I gave up the Grail? I wouldn't want that, but if she does that, everything I've thought of so far falls apart. It doesn't matter. I already said I would fight. That's why I won't run away. I've already decided, Saber. I look her straight in the eye as I declare this. She doesn't respond immediately. She takes a deep breath and looks at me. Understood. If you say so as a master, I simply have to obey. My objective is the Grail, while yours is the top of the battle. Our ultimate destination is the same. I must say one thing. She looks into the distance. I struggle to put into words, but I believe you will come to regret what you said. In fact, I'm sure of it. So she says. Okay, is this a new scene? Okay, this is an Unlimited Blade Works branch. Interesting. I'm going to save this here. It's still saying fate, funnily enough. So that branches into Unlimited Blade Works. Interesting. Let's go back to waking up in the bedroom. We're getting close to the end of all the things in the fate route. Let's start with serious stuff. And this is a neutral thing for Rin. Why she's here. Why you're still hanging around. Begin with the conclusion. She looks repulsed. What do you plan to do next? She asked the question I hope she wouldn't. Not true. Don't want her to ask so much as I haven't really thought of my answer. What am I going to do now is the question I want to ask. Don't know. I know there's a competition. Never been a battle between mages. One thing, I want to avoid any killing. Not interested in something like the Grail. Don't know if I can risk my life for something I don't want. You need to say something like that. I'll have you know that your servant will kill you for saying that sort of thing. Kill me? Why? Our servants also seek the Grail. One of the conditions for allowing the Master to summon them is to get a chance at the Grail. It's the servant's #1 priority. They'll be the Master if it gives them a chance, and sometimes even die for their masters. Try saying you don't want your Grail to your servant. You can't blame her if she calls you a traitor and cuts you down where you stand. That doesn't sound right. Servants are the one who's summoned by the Masters, right? Then... think servants would serve humans freely. Whoever requires the Grail gets their wish granted, whether that's Master, Guardian, Servant. We are literally just rehashing the same points. Yep. Same point was just made. Yep. Same. Same. Yep. Told me enough last night. Means servant must fight, kill. Masters made peace. Each other. Grail. Servants and summons because they all seek the Grail. But then the girl who fought so hard to protect me is all for the Grail. Save her seaman. You saw her bleed. Say aren't moral. If they die, just go back to where they came from. Only masters get killed. But deficit figure doesn't change something which takes the only human dies. Hang up on killing. She's right. Mage, death is never far. Understood that fact since I've long since resigned. Not strong enough to judge when other people should live or die. Won't be part of your murder. Just gonna sit and wait to be killed. Stay alive, don't intend to kill. Won't look back, defend. So this is all still Shiro getting his resolve. So this is all rehashing points. Mouse attack, blah blah blah. Servants are spirits. Yep, we've rehashed this point as well. About magical energy and how they will feed on people. The souls of people. So just keep skipping because this is all stuff we have addressed before. I need to finish the scene out. Because this is all still part of Fate Route, which means nothing new. Only new content gets read. Lost consciousness, yep. Stomach back normal. Yep, this is all just addressing Shiro's healing, which they think is coming from Saber. So skip all this. And then see the final choice, which is don't want to address either, which I feel is just going to be somewhat similar to the same thing. Yep, Saber heal wounds, blah blah. And okay. So we reload back here. Have a bad feeling, don't want to hear either of them, but we're probably going to hear them either way. Lecture, don't want to hear either. Crap, sudden sense of dread. Feel like I poked a sleeping tiger. Why are you looking at me like that? You practically feel the wrath building. I'm sure you don't know what you're I don't know what you're talking about, but just to be clear, do I look angry? I'm a dead man. Might be a vein popping on your forehead, or not. I mean, maybe it was my imagination. Or smells anything but kind by finding myself stumbling over my words. So that's how I look to you? You think I'm angry? Are you mad, Tosaka? You're goddamn right I am. You're saying you don't want to hear about either? You have any idea what sort of situation you're in, you freaking nitwit? Her words come out as a bestial roar. Her threatening tone makes me want to tuck my tail and run, but... Don't you dare run from me. Park your ass on your heels right and give me your undivided attention. Sit down on my floor, feet tucked beneath myself. Why do I have to sit like this? Why do you think I can talk to you without getting interrupted? Your brain is clearly asleep. Still asleep, so you're sitting like that until it wakes up. She's livid. Pretty sure if I protest, she'll bite my head off, so I see nothing. I face a true monster now. Someone once told me it's better to play dead when dealing with a berserk animal. Okay, so now it's just, again, an overview of what happened. So just that little bit is what is new. Excuse me. We're almost done, I feel. I feel like we are almost done. Because our next reload point is day 3 last distortion is our next reload point. And then otherwise it's just a couple more that are probably dependent on bond choices. And we do need to seek out Heaven's Feel. So we know that the Unlimited Blade Works split can happen around now, but we don't know for sure that's the only split to Unlimited Blade Works. There is potential for more splits. We'll find out, though. Yep, she's getting pissed again. Just keep skipping. I really wish I could, like, hold control skip, but I cannot. I can only spam the space bar. But I do admit, while a lot of this has been rehashing, there was some genuine great moments. And we got the other 2 bad ends. One of which I did guess as to how it was, and the other one was kind of, out of left field, but... Or not really out of left field, but it was a little bit funny. Technically 3 bad ends if you count Shiro being turned into a mecha, but, that's beside the point. Skip, 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 skip. Okay, I might actually call it here soon, because we are, like I said, we are approaching routes which split off to Unlimited Blade Works. So it might not be a bad idea to... Unlimited Blade Works would have to begin after the confrontation with Rin and Archer. Strongest enemy. This decision point. No. That might be Heaven's Feel split there. Actually, Heaven's Feel is what I was going to be doing next. Duh. So, Heaven's Feel split seems to come off from Last Distortion. We probably need better Sakura relationship for that. So, we are at the point where it is essentially... These first few days are all decision points which will determine where our relationship goes. And we do want to do Heaven's Feel second, because I want to save Unlimited Blade Works for last. So I think this might be where I call it, because that's a Sakura Heartbreak route, which means that might... Because I imagine that will lead to that, which is more Sakura interactions. And that being branching off there and not having any clear continues might also lead up to Unlimited Blade Works. So Heaven's Feel starts down here, because that's a distinct drop down. So I think I'm going to call this one here. The next time we do FSN, we're going to be starting back to the very first choice, pick the Sakura-based options to raise our affection meter with her, so that way we can come back to this point here and get the Heaven's Feel route unlocked. But that is for next time. And who knows, I am worried that it's going to lock me out of Heaven's Feel until I do Unlimited Blade Works, but we will find out then. For now, I've been Soulrack Dragon. I hope you have enjoyed this final stream of the Fate route of Fate Stay Night Remaster. Next time, for those of you watching this on YouTube, either Unlimited Blade Works or Heaven's Feel route will truly begin. It depends on what the game allows me to do. Before I fully begin, though, let's go back to the title, and we're going to go over to the gallery, because I'm curious if... Nope, it's still only at one little meat chop down there. Only one. And we'll get more, I'm sure, next time. But once again, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.